Well, hey, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Fistivities. Karyn Bryant with you. I give myself... Oh, my God. You guys are way too kind. Give myself a round of applause. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Is everything good? How are you? Welcome to episode 71. 71 with Jessica Penne. This is going to be fun. She's such a cool girl. And okay, well, hold it. Well, first and foremost, let's say, okay, I never know what to do first and foremost. There's always first and foremost going on here. Okay, so we are going to have Jessica Penne on the show tonight, and she is fighting not this coming weekend, but the one after that at UFC 285. So we will talk to her about that, and she is also a woman who is really into horses. I haven't actually gone horseback riding with her, but she told me about this great place to go in San Diego. She also has a podcast with Angela Hill, who I also used to do a podcast with. So we'll talk about Two Straws. You can find that over on Fight Pass and stuff. I know they have a channel here on YouTube as well, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, but they also have it over on Fight Pass. So a lot of stuff, but yeah. So hi, everybody. Okay, what up, P Brown? What up? What up? Yes, I know, number 71. Hello, Andrea. Nice to see you. Hello, everyone. Sean Singletary saying, I spied you thirst trapping fellas with the jump rope video. Good to see you. Okay, so I wasn't a thirst trap. What it was is more like I posted a video of me jumping rope, which I've done before. And I'm not even really feeling that sort of body confident right now, which is maybe why I thought maybe I should do it now, because this is a better time to push the envelope. So anyway, I posted a video and I actually showed I did a turn, which I never do. So my butt is actually out there now for the world to see. And I'm very nervous about it. And it's in my IG stories. And I put it up. I was feel okay, fine. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I actually tried to put it on my reel, but then the song got blocked because it was Can I Kick It, which I love from the Tribe. Even have a thing hanging on my wall with them. So it got it was, this thing comes up and it goes, well, your reel's going to be blocked in the following places. And it was basically every place on earth except maybe Antarctica. So I was like, well, what's the point? So I took it down. It's still in my stories, but it's a weird thing. It's well, it's the music from IG and you guys let me use it. You made it available and then you blocked it. So I don't know. Anyway, anyway, I did it really more to sort of force myself to do it, if you want to know the truth. So then I put some still pictures up on my Instagram and I had a still picture of my butt. And I was like, well, okay, that's a little more than I can handle. I'm like, we'll go baby steps, KB. So I didn't put the static picture of my butt up, but trying. I'm very, very, very critical of myself. So I'm trying to get better at that. Hey, you know what I want to do with you? That's not it. I don't want to share the screen. I want to show you what's coming up on the show tonight. And for that, let's go to the hit list video. Okay, so like I said, we're going to have Jessica Penne on the show. She's just real cool. So lots to talk to her about. We will also then talk about UFC Vegas 69 that just went down. Erin Blanchfield submitted Jessica Andrade. We'll talk about that. I was there. I was working that one. Interesting stuff. So I want to talk about that and a couple of other fights that went on that night. Some were just weird, like the night fight, because he didn't fight. And some were just awesome, like Hernandez and Miller. I loved that fight. Went and sat real close for that one because it was so good. At any rate, we'll talk about that. And okay, so Chidi's choice for this coming weekend, we have Krylov versus Spann in the main event. Look, I'm not going to lie. Last week, it was a rare miss for Chidi. His record is now 17-5. He did go with Andrade for the win. So he was incorrect this time. His record is still 17-5, which I believe still warrants a lot of faith. At any rate, then we will also get into some MMA news. There's been some new fights announced, some matchmaking and things like that. And then also I wanted to talk to you guys about TikTok. And I've been trying to do a little bit more over there, but at the same time, not really. I really need to focus my energy on my YouTube, which is really my main focus and my main goal to spend more time on my YouTube. But that teen filter is pretty funny. So I'm curious if you guys have tried it and what you think of how they're saying, YouTube might get, not YouTube, TikTok might get banned. They might get banned because the version in China is so different. and whatever. Yeah. Okay. So, hey. So, yeah, the fuse is lit. It's party 1, 2, 3. Marcos, what's up? What's up? Howdy, Fernando. Joseph Bellotti asking, did I see Daniel Cormier interviewing Jon Jones next week? I mean, oh, do I see him? I mean, sure. Look at DC's a professional. Honestly, I think Jon, I'm hoping, is in a good mood because it's been so long since we've seen him. I feel like he's aware of how much positive feelings there is about his return. A lot of people are going to hate him forever, and we're not going to pretend he hasn't made some mistakes in life, and some very, very serious mistakes too. Luckily, that people weren't, very seriously. But Jon's a polemical guy. A lot of people really feel different ways about him, but I think we can all argue that it's great to have him back, right? Whether or not you're a fan or you don't want him to win, it's just nice having him back in the mix. The guy's incredibly talented, and it's going to do a lot. It's going to reinvigorate us a lot, I think, to have him back. Don't know if he's going to win. Cyril's really good. So, anyway, I'm excited for Jon to come back. I think it's going to be cool. And I think DC, if he's speaking to him, will be professional. I think they're going to both be cool with each other. It's water under the bridge. I think it's okay. Yeah, exactly. Frank, DC's a pro. DC is a pro. Hey, Stops, thank you so much for the donation, $10, saying I should be confident I look great. Well, thank you. I'm working on it. 808 V-dubs, thank you, saying don't overthink it. You're a solid woman, beautiful, smart, accomplished, etc. Thank you. But what sucks is the accomplishments and stuff like that, like literally jobs. And as you guys know, jobs and things in the entertainment industry are being rewarded to and given to people who don't necessarily have the skill, but they have like TikTok followers and stuff like that. It's incredibly frustrating. When people see my videos, they don't see a double major from Brown. They don't see someone that speaks 3 languages. They just see like, oh, is she hot or not? How many followers does she have? So it sucks. You're constantly playing that game of putting stuff out there to, and everybody does this. It's not just maybe not everybody. I feel like though, like a lot of people feel like they got to put content out, even if they're just regular folk. And I'm not any different from regular folk. I'm just saying that my job as a sort of forward-facing entertainment job, it's like a job requirement to do all this social media stuff. And a lot of time it's really tedious and it's a lot of effort, and you don't want to do it and you're not always feeling it. So it's tough. I know it's a first world problem, but it just sucks that that is a determining factor in who gets jobs and stuff like that, because it's total BS. And we know people buy them and all this stuff, but like it sucks to be judged by your numbers, how many followers you have, like instead of like your actual, like, are you good at what you do? Welcome to 2023 though, right? Hey, Richard Giosio. Uncle Hanach sent you here. So here you are. Arvin, are we going to talk about how I show the cheeks on IG? I was just talking about how I showed the cheeks. I don't know if Renato is aware of it. We will make him aware of it. I know it's funny. I posted something the other day and they were like, oh, I see you're like, change your ways since Renato's been hitting that. Let me clarify for the record, never has, never will hit this. But Renato, I will say, has probably like made me do some things that I probably wouldn't have done before. Yeah, that is 100% true. He is an instigator. He is a pot stirrer. He's one of a kind. And he is my co-host, for better or for worse, on episode 71. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 27-time. He's really resting on his laurels, so he hasn't competed in forever. 27-time jiu-jitsu champion, Renato Laranja.
Look at that one. Let me brighten up the situation here for your viewing pleasure. Look at that one. I look young and spry. And speaking of stirring the pot, I'm stirring your vagina, Karyn. Listen. No, I didn't stir your vagina. If you listen, first of all, you said never have, never will. Listen, never have, but you never know how desperate time is called for desperate measure. Okay. And let me tell you something. You could do a lot worse for her. Oh God.
That is true.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Imagine that. Look, I look like a young who's the who's the fucking kid in Habbo Without a Cause, like the Italian kid or
Oh
whatever?
yeah,
The
yeah,
one
yeah,
who
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
stabbed to death in real life? Sal
Sal.
Mineo. I look like a young Sal Mineo. Oh carajo.
I wish.
Hey,
What happened to the porn stash, Hanato? The people want
I
to know. You
I
were
got
working
hit
a
of
porn
that
stash for a little while.
because women was treating me like a fucking sex object, porra. Every woman wanted made love to me after they saw that one. They have a daddy issues or whatever, and I said, "Carajo, ladies, you're treating me like a piece of meat."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um,
So I'm sure you hated that.
yeah, they offering me mustache to do a. Can I hide your mustache?
Dollar saying mac and cheese. It's macaroni in a pot. That's a wet ass. He knows
Exactly,
the
I'm
words. He
still that
knows the
one.
words
You're
to
gonna
WAP.
hear the macaroni in a
Which,
pot. And let me
which,
tell you something. And another thing I tell all the women I'm sleep with too. I say, this ain't matrimony. This is macaroni. You understand?
all the women.
The, well, some of the ones.
My daughter knows all the words to WAP, and
I'm sure she does. I'm sure she knows about a lot of shit you think she don't know about.
no, I think it's hilarious. I will say, I can't get that upset about music. Like I can't. Um, it's just words in a song. It's not going to make her act on things. It's not going to make her do things like I know some parents really stress out about what their kids are listening to. To me, it's funny and it's horrific. And there are times you're like, oh my God, baby girl, how do you know this? But it's funny to me and it actually brings us together. And I feel like sometimes we end up having conversations because of a song like WAP that maybe we wouldn't have had before. It's funny to me. And I'm not
Well,
mad.
listen, I gotta tell you, I've listened to so much. Listen, I've listened to so much dark shit and violent shit for so many. I used to love. I still do, but that those ghetto boys, early hackers and stuff. I mean, they're talking about all kind of fucking murders and selling crack and killing people and hate and murder, all kind of stuff. So maybe even having sex with a corpse, even and stuff like that. And then I've listened to all kind of demonic, devilly, fucking heavy metal stuff like that. I never did either of that. I never worship Satan. I'm only my God. I pray to my God, and I never killed anybody or hate nobody or nothing like that. So.
Oh God. Well, listen, Andrea loved the mustache. Andrea saying the mustache was
Don't worry, I
nice.
grow that one out. I grow a Holly Fingers mustache for you, Andrea, if you came out. And you can sit on that one and hold the fucking handlebars on that one.
Good evening, Daedalus. Hello. Good evening
Oh,
to
daddy
you.
laugh.
It's a good name, Daedalus.
Yeah,
Okay.
what was the story of Daedalus for, huh?
Oh no, that's Icarus and
Okay.
Daedalus. Icarus flew too close to the sun.
Yeah, but what did Daedalus did?
He was like, ha, he did the
Is
Ralphie
that
laugh,
the way it
probably.
worked? Yeah, because he made the fucking wings out of feathers and wax or
And
something like
wax.
that.
Dude, to be honest with you, I've actually been to Greece, and I went to I went to the place where they were, and it was so funny because I remember also like, wait, that's it? Because obviously over the years it's been filled in some, but they were like, and this is the hole where Icarus and Daedalus were, and he came out, and we were like,
Wait a second.
all you needed was like a boost, you know what I mean, and
Wait
you
a
could get
second.
out, but like.
You're telling me that they have like the part where when he fell from the sky, like a cartoon, like he fell into the hole or whatever. Like,
No, it was the
oh,
hole that they were in that they were trying to get out, right? Isn't it like
which is why he got the fucking wings to
the
begin with.
wings
Oh,
in the
I
first place,
forgot
right?
about
So
that. Okay.
I'm in Greece and I forget exactly what I like toured the whole Peloponnese. I gotta go back.
Yeah.
Really go back to Greece now that I'm a
Yeah.
little
You
older,
wanna
if you know what I mean.
you
But
wanna
I'd
do
like
it.
to
You
go.
wanna do a shish kebab tasting out there.
I
You know.
would like to sample the local flavor.
You want some
I
tzatziki,
didn't get to do that when I
tzatziki
went before because I
saucy.
was just a teenager. But
That's okay.
anyway, yes, I saw the hole that Icarus flew out of. It wasn't it wasn't
All
that
right.
deep.
Well, what about the
But I was
hole that he
following
flew into, Karyn?
pretty great though. I know. Oh, or it is over on Crete. Is it on Crete? I don't know, Jay.
It's on Crete.
I went to
So
Greece
she's
and to Crete.
lying.
No, because
Thank you, Jay Crockett,
I
for
went
so
to Crete
exposing
too.
that she's
No,
been
shut
lying.
up. I went to Crete too.
She never been
That's
there. She only been to Catalina Island
you
and
know what?
can
I'm gonna
and
show
maybe
you.
Canada.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna have to make a reel or some
Uh,
crap showing the people. I was in high school, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, Renato.
that they started feeling you.
This was the trip, yeah, where I finally realized that I might have an actual future with boys. Because in high school, I had no attention from boys until I went to Greece. And over there, like I was on the school trip, but I was with a girl that a friend of mine back home in the States couldn't scrape the guys off. We went to Europe. Nobody paid attention to her. I couldn't buy a date back home in Massachusetts. We went to Europe. The guys loved me. The moral of the story is I can't get to Europe fast enough. And
well, how exciting! One day. How exciting was that? I mean,
it was pretty great to be the one they actually wanted for once. It was pretty great.
Yeah,
it was pretty.
Like
great.
I said, you got to go where your bread is butter. You know.
Yeah. So literally, the trip to Greece when I was in high school was the it gets better trip for me. Like it opened my eyes to the fact that I would not always be miserable and that maybe one day I actually would get a date because I had none in high school at all.
Well, like for instance, I'll give you an
Jessica
example.
was here for a second and then she popped away. So I don't know where she went.
Because she probably saw me for a second and she was like, oh shit, I better get my shit together. She started powdering her face.
Let me tell her come back.
She started doing the hot comb or whatever on her hair. She was like, oh, this motherfucker. Anyway, you know, like for instance, if you and I went to Tokyo, let's say, okay?
Yes.
We're gonna have a good journey, but we're not gonna be like people aren't gonna when we pass. People aren't gonna be going. Now, if we went to Sweden or any number of Scandinavian countries, both of us is gonna be sought after. You know, wait, they didn't like you. I'm surprised at that.
People just kind of looked at me and stared. Nobody.
No, but I'm talking about the men, not the women.
I know nobody talked to me at all. I was there for a week.
Huh. Well, your Uncle Hanach must have something going.
Okay, well, yeah, you have something better. And now, Hanato, I need you to be good. Our guest is here.
I'm always
welcome her in. You know, we've had a few girls on the show before. People, you know, a couple weeks ago, we had Mackenzie on. Tracy Cortez has been on with us. Rose has been on. Angie's been on with us.
But they old news now. We have something new here.
I'm just saying. I always feel like when I invite a girl on that I have to give them an extra like warning or just be good.
Listen, a man don't step on the lot lest he wants to buy. She knew what she was getting involved in when she signed the contract to came on here. Oh, God.
You are correct. All right, ladies and gentlemen, she will be fighting at UFC 285 on March 4th. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome UFC Strawweight Jessica Penne. Hey.
Hot blooded. Check it and see.
I can't hear you guys.
Oh no, she can't hear us. Oh no. How can we work this out? Because
put on your earphones, Karai.
You look great. Shoot. How can we work this out? Yeah, do you have maybe your Bluetooth is connected to something else? She can't hear me.
Send her a text message.
I'm gonna send her a text message. I'm gonna send you a text, and it's gonna say, okay. Is your Bluetooth connected?
Let's see what the people is saying here. Maybe they got some help for
do something. Let's see. Yeah. We never have an issue.
You know what someone said just now? They said Karyn and Jessica, the two best bots on Instagram. That's what they just said.
Oh, wow, no, hers is better.
But hers they just said it. Listen, they just said that.
Though. Oh, somebody said Zealous and send her my number too.
Oh, God.
I'll see what I can do. Okay, let's. I don't know. How would we get? We did have an audio issue before with Jack, right? And then he went through a different browser. Let's see. Yeah. Which browser are you using? I'm going to say, I think it said try Safari. That's the one that works better.
Safari. Oh, yeah. I'm your Safari. I think it's because it's controlled by the Jewish media. So it's a Sephardic Jew. Sephardi. You need to try Safari.
No, wait. I'm trying to see, though.
She's on Ashkenazi.
If there's a troubleshooting thing, like if they can't hear me, if she can't hear us, what do you think it could be?
I've never experienced something like that. Maybe
because my thing was telling her like she might have her Bluetooth connected to something else, and you like forget, you know what I mean, that it's connected to something else. or
Tell her to try using some fucking. Does she have some of these hearing aids
yeah,
like your uncle Hanach?
let's see, or try earbuds.
She's
Let me
probably
see.
forgot something simple because she's so nervous to see me.
I mean, I don't know. I sometimes people do get a little. Okay,
Listen,
so
Karyn Bryant, if you saw me the first time, you.
hey,
Oh, okay.
Alex is here. I like the way. Yes,
Oh,
Alex
Alex,
Bentley. We love Alex. So, guys, if you guys have
I like
ever
the way this
watched
live stream.
the High Rollers and stuff, and you've seen this beautiful girl doing the interviews, that's Alex. And yes, this is StreamYard, Alex. We are on StreamYard. She's such a cutie.
You
She's
can
such a great.
soak in the looks, Alex.
All right,
Enjoy.
listen. Let's try this again. Jessica, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
baby.
what
All
was
right,
it?
ladies
What
and
was
gentlemen,
it
here's
for future reference?
Jessica.
I don't know. I think it was I was using the Brave browser because it wouldn't let me use Safari, and then I tried. It recommended Google Chrome. So
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
that's it.
Chrome.
Because I'm on Chrome. I don't know. Maybe I recommended the wrong one. I don't even know.
you
But
recommended.
hi. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey.
How you doing? Now, where were we? How are you?
I mean, you were probably trying to hit on her.
I take umbrage to that one. When have you ever seen me do that to one of the female fighter? I treat them like any other women that I have at my condo. Mm.
Do you like waterbeds, Jess?
No, I don't.
Good, because I don't have one of that one. I
You
have
got
the
one of
whole
these?
trading one that you put a couple quarter and then it goes like this, and you can see. I was kind enough to put a mirror on the ceiling so you can see yourself. Kind of,
Oh, that's really nice. Do you have Dramamine on the nightstand too, in
yeah,
case
I
you get?
have Dramamine and I have Hoofies in there, whichever one you need.
Oh, that's like totally appropriate to talk about right now.
Totally appropriate. Totally
Yeah, it's in
appropriate.
the news, I guess. Maybe it's tropical.
Oh my God. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
Jessica, you are fighting in 2 weeks. I'm so glad you could do this tonight. You have a big fight coming up. You are at UFC 285. A lot of eyeballs are going to be on that one because Jon Jones is coming back.
I know, crazy.
Yeah. Are you a fan? Like, what's your take on him? We were kind of talking about him before. Like, I feel like it's good for business, right? To have him back. Like, whether people
Of
like him or
course.
think he's a villain, it's great for business.
I mean, I remember being on Ultimate Fighter, and I remember everybody saying we had like the whole UFC PR team and all the other like people
Yep.
working. They're like, listen, you want people to like feel very strongly about you, and that's either like or hate. And he's a very polarizing character. So I think he's great for the sport. I mean, I really hope that he gets his stuff together in his personal life, but he's really
Yeah.
amazing to watch fight.
I mean, amen. That's never been the problem. He's always one of the most exciting fighters you ever seen. But God, are you? The extracurricular stuff leaves something to be desired for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I know the old saying that there's no such thing as bad press, but still,
I mean,
Yeah, there is.
at a certain point, God, are you? I mean, he's pushing it. He's pushing that shit.
There is. There is.
definitely is. But I
So
mean,
you're going to be fighting Tabatha Ricci, right? In this one, what do you make of the matchup? On this one, I feel like this is another kind of compact fighter, right? You're going to definitely have a height and reach advantage over her.
yeah, I think she's like 5'1", something like that. But yeah, she fights like we call them meatballs, little meatball style. So they're always coming. It's not a diss. It's not a diss.
Yeah.
It's
I
not.
know any woman would feel good to be called compared to a fucking meatball. I'm gonna start using that one. If I come up to a woman on the street, say, "God, oh, that's a spicy meatball. You look like a fucking meatball. You built like a meatball."
It's not. It's a style.
Yeah.
So I mean, no disrespect by it, even though now that saying out loud, maybe it sounds like that, but
Yeah,
it's not.
meatball style.
It's a style of fighting. It means that they're lower center of gravity, strong, aggressive. They have to cover distance because yes, I do have reach.
Match Sarah.
He's a meatball.
Yeah.
He's a meatball.
There you
I
go.
understand. But women can get sensitive about that stuff, as we know.
I mean, we can all get sensitive about like.
Well, true. I mean, she probably want to be called like a veal cutlet or something like that, or some, instead of some thin,
To each their own.
Something thin.
for her.
But we have a meatball fighting Penne, so I'm getting hungry.
That's true.
Hey, it was meant to be.
Oh, penne. Oh, penne. I've heard stuff about penne now. Now this is there's some myths and stuff about what that mean, and I think the reason why is because in from what I understand, penne in the way that it's the posture is mean pen, like the pen, a
Yeah.
penne in Italian. But
Okay.
supposedly the word for pen is so close to the word for brajol,
Yeah. In Spanish,
for penis, that if you say it wrong, it mean it mean penis.
yeah.
So what's the true difference?
So if it's the enunciation, it's the two ends create like a little bit longer of
The N word.
yeah. No. Oh, you're fun.
Okay,
Not
not that one.
um. So it's.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
already. Oh, the N word is funny to you, I see.
no, don't get her in trouble.
I'm gonna tell Angela Hill.
don't do that. No, she does shit like that to me all the time. Don't do that. I'm not fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to hear this because I don't want to
Because I'm
say
saying, yeah,
penis.
I want to know the difference too.
I want to
Because
know
it's
the
the
difference
same thing
between a penis.
in Portuguese with pow and pow. Like
Exactly.
it's like the exact same
It's
thing. Where
very
the word
similar
for
to that
bread
one.
is just the same as wiener.
Yeah, but it's like the enunciation
Right.
or like the elongation of
Whoa.
pronunciation.
So which makes it a elongation of that one?
So two consonants together, you have a little bit longer of a sound,
Right.
and that's the distinction.
So the difference between penne and penne.
Right.
Yeah.
So penne is the penis.
No,
No,
that's
the shorter one. In your case, the shorter one is the penis.
Oh, you got a
The
lot of
longer one is
nerve.
the rude.
You got a lot of nerve, Karyn Bryant. Yeah, after you already said you never enjoyed that one for yourself. She's deprived herself of that one.
you know,
Mm.
Jessica, what part of Italy is your family from?
northern. So it's a province called Bosconaro in Torino.
Oh, okay. Because I've been to Italy, but I went to Venice, and I went to what do you call it? Firenze.
This isn't about you. We're
No,
interviewing her.
no. But yeah, and my because my friends got married in Tuscany and stuff like that.
Oh
Like,
God,
yeah.
here we go with Tuscany.
So everybody likes the the southern, like the countries by the sea.
Right.
It's romantic and
Right.
all that kind of stuff. But no, like I'm like way far up. Like the region is called Piemonte. It's like up in the mountains, the foothills.
Mountains. Okay.
Oh, the foot. What goes on there? I mean, what do you do there? Just hang out and it's depressing.
Some grapes.
Yeah.
know.
And like you'll grow some sheep or whatever. I mean, you can tend to the sheepy and stuff. Make some pecorino romano or whatever.
Sure, whatever you want, whatever you're into.
Whatever I want and whatever I'm into. Oh, caralho. When are we going?
We are not, but you can.
Well,
We are not. Yeah.
it's your funeral, Paul.
Okay, so I want to get back to the fights. So it's like you're 10 days out or so. So at this point, like, are you just fine tuning things? Like, where are you sort of in your camp? Because obviously you've done the hard work now, right? Are you fine tuning? And I feel like I want to put you in bubble wrap because that day when like you rolled your ankle at warmups, I was heartbroken. Like
on my time hop, I just got like the update about that. Yeah. That was
Wait, you hold your ankle in the warm-ups and you had to
Like at
stop
warm-ups.
and you had to pull out the fight?
Yep.
so I was it was in Tucson, Arizona in 2018 or 19. And I was
Tuscan.
morning
Arizona.
shakeout. And I was, I was feeling good. I was, doing all my stuff.
Feeling too good.
I did. I was warmed up with my coach, Justin Flores, and we did a move that I have drilled and done so many
The
times.
triple Lindy?
No, not quite as fancy. No.
Okay.
But I stepped wrong, and I literally I partially dislocated my ankle. And
Unfucking believable.
Oh, I swear. It was the craziest thing. I just it was such a crazy thing to happen the way it did. I just felt like it was like cosmic intervention. I was like, you know what? It happened. It happened for me, and that's what it is, you know?
Who was your opponent at that time?
Who was it? She fights out of Winklejohn's. Oh my God, I can't.
I don't remember which one it
I'm
was.
really hard. Like,
Well, whatever she was, she must have been disappointed as fuck. Can you imagine that? Like,
Yeah.
you say what? She did what?
I know. Well, I
oh,
know.
I know. For her, she didn't break her ankle or anything like
I
that.
remember the pictures. Your ankle was massive.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Man,
Craziest thing. But I look at it like I've been in the sport so long. I've been training and competing for, over a decade and a half. And I like the odds are, starting to kind of catch up to me with like a lot of weird stuff can possibly happen, just like numbers and statistics wise. So
Right.
yeah, I've
who knows what could happen?
it.
Well, I will say this, like you've been someone who has been through a lot, right? Like your career arc, your storyline, your trajectory has been like up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's and I'm so excited to see that you're back and able to sort of fight more regularly now and all this stuff. But like you've been through a lot, was there ever a point when you were like, I gotta like it's not worth it. I got to just go do something else. Cause I really applaud your stick to itiveness. You know what I'm saying? But like, I feel like you're saying the signs were there that day. You weren't supposed to fight. Like, was there ever a point when you were like, is the universe trying to tell me not to do this?
I mean, I definitely like question that. And, I did a lot of soul searching in my time away from the sport.
Yeah.
And the thing that I realized is just like there were a lot of roadblocks and speed bumps and all that stuff happening is because I wasn't addressing what like a lot of my issues were. And I was dealing with a lot of like personal, emotional stuff that
emotional.
A Band-Aid for, and it wasn't sticking anymore. I really had to address those issues.
Mm-hmm.
And through that time away, I worked on myself like a lot internally, and I just
you internally.
I really I rediscovered my love and my drive for the sport, which I really lost, and I was having like crazy identity crisis, like getting into the UFC and being thrown into the spotlight of the Ultimate Fighter. Like I just it really just brought everything to the surface that I was having issues with that I was avoiding. So I took it as a positive, and everything happens for me. So I just did the best I could with the situation.
Yeah. I wonder if you'll be open to any kind of like healing, like energy healing or whatever, because.
Oh, I do all of that. I've done Reiki, lots of.
No, but you haven't done my style. I do a Brazilian style Reiki. Yeah, no. Where the other Reiki, they go a little bit just above the surface, caralho. I'm getting to the like the chakras and stuff. So, porra.
Oh, okay.
It's inside out work, isn't it?
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. I'm work inside out, porra. Yeah. It can be invigorating, but it can be sobering. Oh, caralho.
Well, no, I applaud your efforts. I feel like
thank you. I mean, I'm trying to help
your efforts. No, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Tess. I feel like it's almost like you did it before a lot of people did it during the pandemic, but I do feel like the pandemic like forced a lot of people to look in the mirror, right, and like address themselves. And they finally had to spend time with themselves, and whatever. And I feel like it was almost like a catalyst to a lot of people. I feel like ever since the pandemic started, a lot of us care a lot more about mental health now, and you hear about it more. People talk about it more, and all that. With that said, and with that work done, so like now when you're fighting, do you feel different? Is there like a sense of levity? Were you able to find more joy in it again? Like, what did you like bring back? You know what I mean? What did you rediscover? What did you find? What happened?
Honestly, I rediscovered my love for the sport. Like I remembered why I started doing it in the first place, and I had a lot of issues with being present in my fights. It was really hard for me to push myself in training. I was dealing with all sorts of, anxiety and, all sorts of stuff that was just really crippling for me. And, through all the work that I've done and all of that kind of stuff, I'm able to train harder than I've ever been able to, and enjoy it and be really present in my fights, where when I got into the UFC, I was like, just battling myself and battling through a lot of anxiety. and I wasn't able to be present. I wasn't able to enjoy. I wasn't able to, just make the best of the situation the way I used to.
Yeah.
But I love this sport. I'm not done with it, and I want to, end on my terms. I don't know when that's going to be. I really haven't given it too much thought, but I mean, I know I don't want to, fight for another decade or anything like that.
Right.
Because my back hurts when I wake up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I don't want to get punched for 10 more years.
Yeah.
now
But I'm really enjoying it. And my first fight back after, being gone for so long, there was so many unanswered questions. I didn't even remember if I remembered how to fight. Like I didn't know how I was going to feel.
Yeah.
There was just so much, pressure I put on myself, so much anxiety going into it. And then, when I fought, my second fight back against Carolina,
Yeah.
I just had fun and I enjoyed it. And then my last fight with Dakota, even though, I
Great
lost,
fight.
I was having fun. Like it just it
Yeah.
really brought it out of me. So I'm enjoying it.
that's fantastic. Now, for the people who listen here, who is dealing with anxiety, what now? Are you talking about this was specific to fighting, or you prone to anxiety anyway if you was in any career?
So I am prone to anxiety.
Okay.
But when I would train, it would manifest in like panic attacks. Like
I
anytime
understand.
of pressure from training, and especially in a fight, I would be like, well, I'll just be able to tough through it in a fight. But I would just completely shut down.
It's
Yeah.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've experienced that. My anxiety stems a lot from child support, but it's
That'll do
anxiety nonetheless. So I've struggled with anxiety a lot my whole life, and
Do it.
it can be crippling. I understand that one. So for the people out there, because I'm sure there's plenty of people who is listening to this, who is fighters or not fighters. What's like some of the biggest insights, some of the big things, simplest things you took away that have changed your relationship to anxiety?
Honestly, vulnerability. Just being vulnerable and expressing what I am thinking and feeling and experiencing. With somebody safe. That's really helped out. I've gone to plant medicine ceremonies. I've done some
Okay.
intelligence training, like just, getting more tools to process my emotions and express them in a healthy, productive way has really made a difference. But I would say vulnerability is the first step.
Did you find, and so you were saying you were having anxiety during training too, right? Because you hear sometimes people are great in the gym and then on fight night they can't perform, or whatever. Like there's a differing sense of comfort and anxiety and whatever. So it wasn't that you were great in the gym and just couldn't do it on fight night. It was like equivalently in the gym sometimes too. You dealt with it.
Yeah, a lot. I started experiencing panic attacks. I think I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, they've presented themselves since I started training.
Yeah.
But especially on the Ultimate Fighter, like having all the cameras.
Well, I mean, that'll do it to anyone. Yeah.
Like
I can't imagine being like that.
I would tough through a lot of it in training, or people would talk me off the ledge kind of thing. But being on Ultimate Fighter, it really brought everything to the surface. And then I'm training a new gym, and then going into a title fight right after being at that gym for like maybe a month. It just like I couldn't cope. I couldn't manage. It was really, really challenging, and I really didn't know how to communicate what was going on, and people would see it, and I was super embarrassed about what was happening. Because, I'm a fighter. I'm supposed to be tough. I'm supposed to be all these things, but I was having these breakdowns, these like really like big, obvious, like there's no from that kind of thing. So that brought like a lot of humiliation and a lot of fear, and it broke me down constantly.
Yeah, it's not great for your self-confidence if you're trying to do something where it take ultimate confidence, It's like, what a scary fucking thing to deal with.
Yeah. And the people at the gym, we didn't really know each other well enough. So they're just like, oh, she's just having a hard time. But no, it was a lot more than that. So after I had 2 tough losses in a row, I was sent to, talk to somebody, a professional. So
Yeah.
that really helped me navigate through things. And then that's when I started my process.
Well, I'm glad I'm glad that you're willing to talk about it, you know, because like Renato's saying here, a lot of people suffer these things and don't talk about it. And I've always thought, you know, I'm around you guys a lot. And I always say to people, like, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how you guys like willingly walk into a fight. I don't know how you know, deal with that on a scale of like, yeah, like the things that we would maybe have the courage to do alone by ourselves in a room where nobody's watching. Like you guys have to go out and do it in the grandest stage. Like it you know, it really is incredible. So I'm just
Karen,
glad
it's kill or be killed, you know, when you're in there.
Right, exactly. And you're in a killer thing. And so I know, like, I think people recognize like, oh, it takes a lot physically to get a fighter to the octagon, but like, thank you for exposing the mental part of what it takes to get there too, because, you know, as we've seen, and we'll get into it later, but like William Knight, you know, he had this fight last Saturday. He didn't do anything against Pacquiao, right? He's like, I didn't do anything. And he said in this thing after, he's like, I froze. I didn't do anything. That's on me. I don't know. Like, but like, and that sucks because you probably went to work a couple times going, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. Why am I here? What am I doing? Why am I college? Like, what am I doing here? It's but had somebody been vulnerable enough to speak out about what they were experiencing, that would have helped me. So I feel like it's my, you know, duty or obligation or just like something that I want to do is to speak out about it because somebody may be experiencing that, whether they're a fighter or not. They could be, you know, experiencing something and really not understanding what they're going through. And so,
yeah, there's still a stigma with it, you know. I mean, it's bad. It's bad for everybody, and especially, listen, men. If you think it's bad, I mean, men, they want to pretend that nothing's ever going on. You know what I mean? And I mean to say that some guys I know never even fucking cry or nothing. You know, it's like, and then to say, oh, I've got anxiety or I'm depressed or anything like that. It's like they think that they man card, that they completely, you know, this isn't how a man behave or whatever, and then that's how people end up killing themselves and stuff like that. So, you know, I think what you found was talking to someone and accepting some help, even though I'm supposed to be a fighter, I'm supposed to be tough, but knowing that, look, you have a coach for striking, you have a coach for jiu-jitsu, you have a coach for hassling. Why not have a coach that help you understand your fucking mental state, your emotion, you know? Absolutely. What's wrong with that? Why can't we have that? And people act like that's touchy-feely or whatever. And not Andre Feely. He'd have nothing to do with it.
It just
and talk about therapy. Yeah.
I mean, I think it needs to be talked about more. And I mean, especially being, you know, a fighter, we're supposed to, I felt like I had to be, you know, strong and, you know, if I can't show weakness kind of thing. Cause if, you know, you're weak in the octagon, the cage or whatever your sport is, then you're going to lose. But I now realize that, you know, being vulnerable, speaking about it, being vulnerable, putting myself out there, you know, in front of people inside a cage, it all requires vulnerability. So if I'm not willing to be vulnerable, you know, outside of the octagon, how can I really be vulnerable inside and perform to my best?
Well, I love it. And Jess, I know this is a very derivative, but today I posted a video of me jumping rope and I actually showed my butt. And I've never done that before. And that's literally was me showing my vulnerability. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I really
Well, you showed your cakes today?
I showed the cakes today. The cakes are on my IG stories and the cakes are on YouTube and even TikTok. And I did it because I never do it. And I'm not even feeling that great about myself right now. Like, I think I have a few extra pounds that I'd like to get rid of or whatever.
Oh, we like in the cake world, we appreciate that. In the cake community, we don't mind a couple extra.
But to your point, Jess, like, I was like, I need to just kind of get comfortable with being uncomfortable, I guess, right? Because that's where the growth comes from.
Absolutely. It's, I use Angela as like she's not an extrovert, but she's like my extroverted like buddy. So she brings, you know,
she's more than you. Yeah.
She's very much more than me. So she like her being vulnerable, her being outgoing or extroverted, it gives me permission to do the same. And you know, it's just finding whatever creates that for you is, you know, it's always helpful.
Angela's a special personality. She's really like when even you mention her, I start to get a smile on my face because
Exactly.
You can't not.
she's something. She's a good person and a funny person and an interesting person. You know.
So of
And
course
she's
we're
like, she's the best person to have during a fight week too.
yeah, I bet. She's
Like,
all like like
the best. Sometimes I'm just like, oh my god, stop. But
Tyler
she
down, Tyler down.
really
I
like.
bet she would be all gas, no brakes.
Oh yeah, no, she's great though, because especially when fight camp is hard. Fight week is especially challenging, for more reasons, and
Yeah.
going into the octagon and trying to perform is another challenge. So having somewhere that gives me comfort, that is assuring that I'm closer, that I feel very comfortable with, is really great because I can express to her how I'm feeling. I can be vulnerable with her, and she's been there. She's experienced a lot of similar things, even though we're not the same person. We've experienced a lot of similar things. So
For sure. Well, so for those who don't know, we're talking, of course, about Angela Hill, but you, Jess and Angie, so they had a Two Straws podcast a while back, and then it stopped for a while, but now it is back on Fight Pass and on YouTube, and it's so clever because it's not only just two strawweights, but a lot of time you guys enjoy a nice bevy as well.
So
yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, you should, because it's on. So do you guys do, is it like every 2 weeks you put a new one out, or how often do you guys do it?
It's bi-weekly.
Okay.
And we do have to be flexible with,
wait, you guys is bi?
traveling.
You wish, God.
Everybody wishes. I mean,
You
No,
wish
she
they were
said
bi and that they always rolled film.
I thought you like we buy weekly. I mean, like for us, it's just every week, whatever.
I know. I mean, I feel like as time goes on, we can get more.
Get more buy.
But stop yourself.
No, I won't stop myself. You have to. No, you stop me. You could try to stop me.
Well, Hanato, Jessica is pretty good grappler. I mean, it's funny because I don't know how do you like to be described, Jess? Because when we talk about fights, we're like, oh, okay, because I'm working. I'm not on. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm working your fight. But we always are talking about people. We're like, well, this is a so and so, and this is a this and that, and this kind of person is a so and so. How do you like to define yourself? How do you see yourself? Because I mean, a lot of times we think oh, Jess maybe he's going to prefer to grapple, but I don't know.
I prefer grappling. Yeah. I do. It was, it's my first love. It's what, brought me to the sport kind of thing. But I've always trained for MMA specifically. I competed in sport jiu-jitsu. However, my goal was always mixed martial arts. Yeah. And I was just having this conversation with somebody today. It's I can, I have good fundamentals. I have the way my body moves, but in the sport jiu-jitsu world, I'm kind of I don't know. I don't have all the sporty tools. I can identify it. I know certain moves, but there's just a lot of things in the sport jiu-jitsu game that just don't translate to MMA.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think she's obviously she's height. I mean, she knows what she's talking about, but it's true. There's a lot of stuff that you can't get away with in a situation where someone can punch you or hammer fist you or whatever, and a lot of that shit goes out the window as soon as you put that in there, and it's shocking to people once if they've never trained MMA and they're really good at jiu-jitsu, then they go, uh-oh, you know what I mean? It's like Carl Lewis singing the fucking national anthem, remember? And the hockey, hey, that, and they go, uh-oh. Oh God, are you? And it's a rude awakening, But you can start to learn what works and what doesn't, and there's certain stuff. And one thing that is different in a better way about MMA Jiu-Jitsu is a lot more in the striking and stuff like that. A lot more openings can present themselves, because people is trying to do stuff and not just trying to stay safe and you know what I mean? In the guard, they're trying to do damage. Whereas, in a jiu-jitsu, straight sport jiu-jitsu, you're just trying to pass, So that guy's gonna be very stingy about his limbs and stuff. You know.
For sure. For sure. But we don't get points for passing. You know, we
Right.
don't
Exactly. Yeah.
stay in half guard all day long. You know,
Yeah.
it's fine. I don't need.
I prefer to stay in deep full guard. Oh God.
Hey, I gotta ask, since I have you here, what did you think about Erin's win over Jessica this past weekend? Because obviously that was at flyweight, but Jess says she wants to go back down to strawweight and fight there and stuff. But just in general, women at the main event again. And I'm just curious what your take was on that, because Erin is one of these girls that she was ranked number 10 and she took out number 3, and a lot of people weren't really, I don't know if they weren't paying attention to her yet, but they were maybe not on people's radars as much, and they need to start paying attention to her.
So I got to call some of Erin's fights when I was at CFFC, and I got to see her firsthand. And when she came, into the UFC, I definitely knew who she was, and I definitely paid attention. She's a very, very solid flyweight. She has great grappling, and the way she used her long range punches, her jab cross in that fight was perfect. Mm-hmm. Now, Jessica, she may make weight at 115, but she's not a 115er. She came in as a bantamweight. She fights.
We're talking about Andrade?
Yeah. Andrade. When I first met Andrade, she was fighting at 135.
Yeah, she's strong.
Yeah, she's super, super strong. I love Jessica, but she's a very solid flyweight. Yeah. Now, she took this fight on very short notice. I think it was like a week notice.
Yeah.
I would personally like to see her with a full camp, and I think the fight would go a little bit differently. However, just seeing what I saw in that fight, I was really impressed with Erin. The way she took her down, passed completely, like just jumped over the legs and passed and made her, took her back and choked her out, was really impressive. And I thought that would be the game plan. I didn't know how easy it would be for her to take Jessica down, because she has takedown defense, which we saw in the first round. But I definitely think her shape played into where the fight ended up going so quickly. Yeah. But I would like them to run it back. Just, I want to see a full camp with both of them. But, seeing how dominant Erin has been, I don't know that it wouldn't end up the same. Maybe it would have taken longer. Sure. It was impressive. It was really impressive. And I hope that she, is right up there next in line to get a title shot. 125 is like a really open division. I feel like, strawweight, we have a little bit more of a mix mash of potential contenders. But flyweight, it's like you win, 1 or 2 fights in a row and you're right up there. I mean, look,
you're up there.
We have Grosso for the title. And I thought that that's what they probably wanted to happen, because she's a big draw. She's a tough competitor. I just didn't know if it would happen so soon. Maybe they wanted a little bit more time getting her used to that weight class.
I know, but Valentina's eating up everybody, right? So like they need challengers for her.
For sure. Yeah.
It's ballsy to want to check out.
Alexa's scrappy though. She's got the great
No, she is, but Carallo. Well, yeah. She's a cutie pie too. Yeah.
Big for 115, and I think she finally grew into like who she's going to be, because she started so young.
Yeah.
The
That's
body.
like me. I'm so young and I'm not even grew into myself yet even.
Well, Jess,
I'm starting to do that one.
One thing Andrade said, unfortunately, is that when Erin went for the takedown, her top got like pulled down, and so Jess said she was thinking about her breast. And honestly, my friend Evie, who is the reporter for the UFC, who does the Portuguese language broadcasts and stuff, she told me this right after the event, and then it has come out in different stories where Jessica has talked about it. That basically when Erin went in for the shot, like Jess said, her whole breast got like exposed, and she was worried about the top and like got distracted from that. Like, has anything like that ever happened to you? I'm trying to remember.
That's a hell of an excuse, by the way.
No,
that's a hell of a fucking excuse.
No. Not to me. Not to me. However, Leslie Smith Invicta, her whole Lululemon, which had no business in that cave, sports bra. I have that sports bra. That is the teeniest, tiniest sports bra.
Exactly.
Coverage. You should never wear it doing anything other than maybe
posing.
maybe posing.
Yeah.
But she was full on up, and she did not stop punching. I will never forget that.
Bless her heart.
Good for her.
And
Good
then
for her.
there was, I think it was Alexis Davis, where this is in Invicta too. Her whole thong came out. Like,
Oh, now caught are you?
her whole thong came out. She kept grappling. Now, I understand.
God bless her for that the courage.
But it's like,
Well,
I don't.
It sucks because I feel like Ronda used to wear 2 bras for that reason.
And
that's what I'm asking. Yeah, because we
not have a lot,
right? Because it would be hard. I gotta believe it would be hard for that not to sort of like mentally mess you up a little bit for a second.
Listen, my Johnson has came out when I was fighting before, and I didn't let that to stop me. I said, let the people to see that one. Let the people to gaze upon that.
It came out of your gi.
No, it came out of the belly to those shorts, caralho, because I wear like the biker shorts, you know that one? And then you can see it came down towards the knee part. It was like the movie Anaconda. You ever seen that one? I didn't let it to stop me because I have a mind like I steal traps. Also, I have a hell of a Johnson. But I digest. What was
your teammate Angie. We were speaking to Angie before. She's going to be fighting Mackenzie, right? So
I know. I mean,
is that what's happening?
So listen. A couple weeks ago, we had Mackenzie on, right? And
and that was the scuttlebutch,
right? And we're like, "Who are you going to fight?" And she's like, "I don't know. I might fight somebody who's ranked lower than me." We're like, Angela Hill. You know what I mean? And so we literally called it out. And she's like, yeah, it might be Angie and blah, 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 blah. So we got to go back and look back for anybody who's watching this. We talked to Mackenzie about that fight. And so we basically knew it was going to be Angie. So what do you make of that? And speaking of the whole grappling, striker versus grappler, and I know Angie's been working so much on her grappling, and I'm sure you're a great help for her for that. But that's an exciting matchup.
It's a really exciting matchup. I mean, I don't know where it is on the card, but I can't imagine it not being
got to be high.
Yeah.
No, that's an exciting fight right there. Both of those are true scrappers. I mean, they're skilled and chuff. The two of them.
I mean, I love it and I hate it. You know what I mean?
Well, I hate it because I like both of them. Yeah.
I know. I gotta pick a side, but it's like, oh, it's hard.
Even when you pick a side, if you kind of like the other person, even it's just a bummer when you see them lose. You know?
No, it's hard. I've had friends fight friends, and
it sucks.
It sucks. It's like you're happy and sad, and that's just it is what it is.
But
it's funny though. You know what's funny? Even if you think you don't have a side, secretly when you start, you might not know who you're rooting for. That when you start watching it, somehow your gut starts wanting one of them to, and you might never chow the other ones.
No, that's fair.
But it's crazy, and sometimes it's not who you thought you would think. It's crazy.
It's funny you say that because that has happened to me sometimes during fights where I didn't think I had a dog in the fight, and the next thing you know, I was like,
you start feeling something. Yeah, you can't help it.
No, I get it.
Hey, so Jess, I was telling Renato that when you're not fighting, that you are an avid horse lover. You've got your own horses, and I was telling him, I said, so folks who don't know, I go down to San Diego a lot. It's just fun. It's an easy little getaway. And one time we wanted to go horseback riding, and you were the one, Jess, who told us about this great place because you're like, oh, I board my horses near this place. And it was this beautiful place. And we rode down on the water. So you ride out in San Diego and you're on the water. And you're right near the border because you're like, there's Mexico and there's a soccer stadium and all this stuff. And we had so much fun.
Chain link fence. That's that you can literally walk. You can walk. I mean, there's armed gunmen,
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, you can. But literally, you can walk, wade into the water and walk around in your.
Exactly. You can walk around the thing, but there's a constant line of helicopters flying that ridge or whatever.
Oh, how relaxing!
Which is so relaxing. But I was telling Renato before that, so you are you love horses. I feel like if you weren't a fighter, would you maybe do something with horses instead for your life?
I mean, one of my dreams has always been to have like a nice sized plot of land and have a ranch and rescue some animals and stuff like that. Before I had before I rescued my horses, I volunteered at a rescue, and it was a rescue ranch. There are tons of different kind of animals like horses, llamas.
Are they race horses? Like what kind of horse needs to get rescued?
Yeah. What are you rescuing them from?
So we did have a couple of race horses.
Oh.
And the sad thing about them is once their usefulness is up, their owners don't necessarily want them. So they end up getting, put out or
euthanized. Right.
Sometimes euthanized.
Sent to the glue factory, boy.
Yeah, literally.
They breed some and then just send them away.
Yeah, and some are just some are for breeding. We had quite a few like surrendered horses that were neglected. Their owners couldn't take care of them for one reason or another. We had some that were like abused. There was some rodeo horses and
rodeo horse. Oh, God.
They were trained very cruelly, and they became aggressive towards people and wouldn't work. And so, they're brought to the rescue, and they have, a lifetime, kind of
trauma. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really hard. So it's very sad, but it was also really fulfilling just going in. And I mean, I would go there like every weekend and just, clean out 15 stalls, like nothing. And then I would, take some horses for walks because some horses were so badly abused that they wouldn't, you couldn't mount them. Okay. They were too fearful. And I mean, I don't have enough experience to like rehab a horse. I'm sure I could learn, but at that time, I didn't have that ability. So I just got to, love on them, brush on them, walk them around the property kind of thing. Yeah. Some horses I got to, put a saddle and ride them and, take them out onto the trail and see how they did. So that was always an adventure. Looking back at it, I realized that it was pretty risky, but I mean, if there's
exciting though.
Of danger and death, then what's the point, I guess.
What do you do for a living, Jessica?
I know. They're like, oh, this horse, it's never been ridden. Can we put you up on it, see how it does? I'm like, yeah, sure.
You weigh $115. Go for it.
No problem. Yeah.
That's cool that you do that though, because even if you're not trained in rescuing, in rehabilitating the horse, you freeing up time for those people to do it because you're cleaning out, you're doing the grunt work, cleaning the out and doing. No, I'm not even making fun. I used to do that.
Therapeutic, honestly.
Yeah, I used to do that for doggy. I go to there and just walk them, do the stuffs that there's not enough. If you don't walk them, they spend most of the time in the cage, Yeah. So if there's not enough people, so I do that sometimes, and it's a good stuff to do for the little fucking guys,
That's a good idea to volunteer.
Well, you don't do stuff like that, Karyn Bryant, because you're too busy focusing on your goddamn stuff. But
you're right. I actually, to be honest with you, I would more likely volunteer with people than animals, but I understand I love it. Like I said, and I know you love so you still do have a horse though, right, Jess? You have your own, right?
I have 3 mares. They were kind of a package deal. The rest.
That's the males?
Mares.
Oh, what's the man called? A stud?
Stallion?
Well, stallions are intact, and then geldings are not intact.
Oh, you don't want the gelding. You want the stallion.
No.
You want the Italian stallion?
Stallions are really tough. There's a few stallions that I've gone out on trail with my mares, and they're really great stallions, but stallions can also be really challenging and dangerous. So
is that kind of like why women tend to say that I'm kind of challenging and dangerous in relationships and stuff, or on a dates or whatever?
I have no idea.
Because I'm a stallion.
Exactly. Both of us can't comment.
Well,
no clue.
I'm just a stallion. What can I say? Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
I swear to God, I thought you just said filthy as charged.
You filthy animal.
Well, here Alex is saying that saying Penny's a classic Italiana beauty with her dark hair, long dark hair. Baby Shark versus Penny is a battle of the beauties. I'm stoked.
Oh, you talking about Ricci?
Ricci, because Ricci's Italian
Yeah.
too, then I guess, right?
Well, she's Brazilian, but I think she have an Italian last name, Karyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hichi. She's a fucking Brazilian chick, porra.
Yeah, but
Right,
there's a
right,
lot of Brazilians, Germans, and I mean, it's like
Yeah.
a melting
Oh,
pot.
yeah, it's a melting pot, you know. I
exactly,
mean,
exactly. Well, now also Alex was saying she was down at Alliance recently and was watching you spar. So I know Jenna's been really doing really great. Jenna Bishop, did she get signed yet to the UFC?
No, she's in Bellator. She's
Okay.
out in Dublin. She just flew out on Monday and having her Bellator debut in Dublin. Yeah.
Nice, nice. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's going to be great. And yeah, so listen, Renato,
yeah,
we have to let Jess go soon because she's been here for a while. But I didn't know if there
she
was.
doesn't
I feel
want to
like there
go.
was more things you wanted to ask her about Italy because I know both.
No,
well, here's the thing: we both just fall into quoting Goodfellas like at any moment, anytime.
Oh, yeah.
Like somebody will say one thing, and the next thing you know, like we're gone. Like, so do you have favorite Italian movies? Like, how do you feel because Omerta, all the Mario Puzo stuff, like some Italians really resent that everybody thinks Italians are all just mobsters and gangsters. But it's
I mean, it came from somewhere. Listen, I remember my dad gave me like The Godfathers. He gave me like all the movies, all the movies that you're supposed to watch. And he's like, go watch. It's like you're right about
So he appreciate that the Italian American heritage.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Listen, it's important stuff. And look, I know I watch some other Italian movies too. I like, I like. Why are you looking at me like that, porra?
Because I feel like the other Italian movies, you would have been anything with Sophia Loren, rest in peace.
Now,
and maybe you would have watched a spaghetti western or something like that.
First of all, I love spaghetti westerns, and my favorite western is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Sergio Leone. Okay. Sergio Leone, okay, and he's Italian and stuff like that. But I also like Bicycle Thieves, which is fucking old stuff, black and white, depressing fucking Italian movie. And I also like Giallo, which is this kind of like schlocky. They almost look like B horror movies from Italy, like Suspiria, and the bird with the crystal plumage and stuff like that. But you guys is Philistine and you don't know those kind of movies, can you? But I can show you that one.
Don't get offended. I mean, I think the stereotypes come from somewhere, and we all shouldn't take ourselves so seriously and just enjoy it for what it is. So they're classics. I watch them.
Yeah, they're pretty. I mean, like I said, they're canon. Obviously, if you were given The Godfather and all that stuff, it's like, yeah, they recognize this canon. So do you cook well? Are you? I mean, I feel like it's hard to ask fighters if they cook, right? Because fighters are obviously so concerned about their weight and have to spend so much time cutting weight. And I feel like you guys don't get to enjoy food as much as like other people in normal life. But can you cook? Do you cook Italian stuff? Like, do you have a specialty?
I can do it. I can make a mean chipino. Like I make a good one. Carbonara, like, I mean, caprese style is really easy. Bruschetta is really easy. Like the stuff that you make is just super, super easy.
Can you make that grandma stuff like brajol and shit like that?
So
grandma stuff.
Unfortunately,
that's like the heel shit.
Because it takes them 3 days, but grandma doesn't have anything else to do, right?
Exactly. But like what the Italian grandmas do, and I don't know if other, cultures grandmothers do this, but they like sneak the spices. So you never really know like the recipe kind of goes with them unless you find like what it's written down on. But my dad would always tell me, he's like, yeah, she'd be in the kitchen and they, be making stuff. And she'd have this little apron with like the sneaky spices. And
even in The Godfather, they teach you how to make a sauce. They teach you how to make the Sunday gravy. What's his name? Clemenza is teach Michael how you put the cans of tomato sauce in there, and then you fry up your garlic and onions and porra and all that shit. I mean, if you just watch, you can learn how to make a sauce.
Getting hungry.
And there's nothing more hungry making in all of cinema history than the jail scene in fucking Goodfellas.
That's what I was just gonna say. Paulie cutting the garlic so thin.
It would liquefy in the pan, porra.
So
listen, there's nobody hungrier than a fighter who's about to have to make weight. So
yeah,
I know. But luckily, you can eat for a couple more days. But Yeah, Hanato, before we go, we got to let her go. So is there anything else you need to ask her?
We're gonna let her to go, but we thank you for coming. Oh, I'm gonna tell you one stuff, okay? Just to make you feel, just to give you some confidence for this the upcoming fight. Uh, in the beginning, before you even came on, one of the comments on here was, KB and Jessica have the best cakes on Instagram.
Cute.
Hey, and check it for what it's worth. I mean, that's a high praise for her. And I think
Speaking
I
of,
didn't knew that you did a cakes video today because I was thinking, well, I've seen Jessica's cakes, but where the fuck? I don't know how they seeing KB's cakes here.
KB finally showed some cakes, which does remind me, Jess. I meant to ask: do you or do you not have OnlyFans?
I do. So Rebecca Rawlings,
Oh, Rebecca.
Australian bestie, we were like the first ones that put it out there.
Of course, everybody remembers Beck Rawlings because this is from like the tough season, and Beck was obviously in the UFC for a while. Now she's doing bare knuckle, and she's doing really well.
She's a beast.
She's tough.
Yeah, fuck that.
She is a tough chick.
I want no part of that, but I am like here to cheer her on.
Totally same. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not that girl.
She's fighting at, I think it's sometime in April. So it's, after my fight, and I get to go support her.
Cool. But you do, yeah, because I was telling Hanato when we were prepping this show, I said, I think Jess had an OnlyFans, like while she wasn't fighting, and maybe she was doing, I said, I don't know if she still does. He needed to know.
Do you have like a promo code for your Uncle Hanacho or something like that?
No.
Oh, God, yeah. You're stingy. That's not a good trait.
Full
it's
price,
better to give for her. Right. Don't worry, I'm gonna found that one.
Speaking, well, I ask only because also too with like the whole vulnerability thing, right? Like, as strange as it is, like obviously it's one thing if like I can use this vehicle and I can help pay my mortgage or my rent or whatever this month, but like at the same time, did it teach you to be like to share your vulnerabilities and your confidences? Like I honestly feel like there might be some good in that, like other than just money, right?
There's yeah, I've always been a very like private person, and I've never really put myself out there like that, and I always had a resistance to it. I still do, but kind of owning myself and putting myself out there, and putting myself out there the way that I choose to, it's empowering to me, and I get to own it. So
yeah, well, you're not being stingy with you was private, but now you're letting other people to see you private.
Right.
You're sharing your private. Huh?
You're welcome.
Twisted. No.
Oh, you don't twist that one on camera.
No.
Okay. If I had an OnlyFans, I would avail the people of my private.
My niche I said my niche is feet. Feet and a
little feet.
Yeah.
People, there's
a lot of people
who's into feet.
Myself, because I was like, people make money.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if people want to see my feet.
Dude, I love it. I think it's really empowering. I think that, a lot of times, women's, women are put into boxes, or they are, told that they should or shouldn't do like whatever. And I'm owning it. So
to me, I feel like, if you can make bank because guys want to see you, and and like you just said, you're empowered, you're putting the message out, you're controlling the messaging. Why not?
Yeah.
I agree. Listen, ladies, I have some powerful feet. I mean, do you think guys would want to see mine too?
You know what? I mean, why can't there be a market for that?
Oh God, that's a niche market.
A feet
market.
No, yeah, with your ringworm like Matt Byrne feet.
You know what?
And your ingrown toenails and your.
I don't know where are you seeing all that? My feet look like cowgun. Check me away, porra. My feet look pristine.
You lie. You can't even say the lie with a straight face.
Look, those feet don't fail me now, porra. Oh.
You can't even lie and keep a straight face.
Those feet.
They're ratchet.
No, they're gorgeous.
God. Hey, listen, folks. Jessica is fighting Tabatha Ricci at UFC 285. It is March 4th. It is a big deal. It is the same fight card with that guy, Jon Jones. But you're going to have to show up early to see our girl, Jess. I'm excited for you. I love that, like things have like been going. I'm just glad that you're like on that path to feeling better about yourself and all that. Like, to me, that's really important. Yeah, because I know from like talking with Ange before, like, yeah, like times have been hard, and we know like when fighters are out for a while and this and that, we can only imagine what they're going through. So I'm happy to hear that you were able to weather the storm and that like you did what you needed to do and that you feel like you're in a good place and that you're only getting better, because that's inspiring and that's motivating and that makes me happy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And Renato probably thinks your butt's cute. So
Well, that's one of the stuff. She having nice legs and stuff like that, too, and all that. And what? She does.
She does.
They're strong.
You're not wrong.
They're strong and having nice calves and stuff like that. I pay attention to that one.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep looking. I'm gonna keep paying attention. I'm gonna see your progress and your cheeks and all of everything. I'm the whole being. I don't focus one of that one. Now that she's in therapy, she's the whole being, Caralho.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that one.
And when she's ready for that inside out holistic method, she'll reach
that,
out
or we can do some gestalt therapy. Oh, boy.
Awesome. Well, listen, folks. Yeah, like I said, you can see her at UFC 285 and check out Two Straws. You can find it on YouTube and over on Fight Pass. That's a podcast with our girl Angela Hill. And yeah, just in general, Jess, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so glad that you could. And yeah, we'll see you on Fight Night, right?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It was great
Oh,
chatting.
you're very welcome. Ciao, Bella.
Oh, yes. Ciao, Bella. See you soon. Oh, what a cool girl.
She was cool, and I think she played it very cool. When she saw Yonko Hanat, she almost had one of her panic attacks. But because I mean, I have a striking look.
I mean, no, but not for nothing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I love her candor with that because as we know, like fighters, they don't always speak about their vulnerabilities. They don't speak about that. They're supposed to be warriors and gladiators and da. They're fallible human beings, just like the rest of us. And
True.
yeah,
I always applaud GSP because I love when he says that shit, when he tells the truth about his fears and all the times and how much he doubted himself when he was going into those big fights and stuff. I like that because it proved to you that like that whole thing about the courage is not the absence of fear. It's just you feel the fucking fear and you
do it anyway.
You move forward through it, and there's something to be said about that even the people you think got it all figured out and have no fear, everybody got fear,
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember actually being at that press conference, that last one with George and Hendricks, when, before George went away, quote unquote, went away. And he was talking about his demons and all these things. And I remember all of us like really appreciating that he spoke on that, because George GSP was the man. Like, he never had an issue. He never had a problem. Like, as far as we were concerned, that man never had a bad day, And so to hear him actually speak on it was pretty powerful.
It was. I think about that, some of the shit that he said, some of that stuff stick with me when he talk about just being panicked before the fights and thinking, oh, what am I doing in here? And you think that certainly don't look how it looked when he's fighting,
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot, and it's funny because very famously, and it's in an interview I have here on my YouTube. If people are on my YouTube, they can subscribe, please. But also look back. But with Pat Barry, like years ago, this is like when I first knew Rose, like, had Jess on, speaking of all the strawweights. I met Rose before she was even in the UFC, right? Because I knew Pat a little bit beforehand. And so I remember talking to Pat. It was downtown in LA before one of his fights. And that's exactly what he said. Like, he's like, during the walkout, even he would look at his coaches and be like, Am I ready for this? Like, am I good? Am I ready? Yeah. And they're like, no, Pat, you ready? You good? You got this, man. You ready? Like, but he's like on the effing walkout. And he's
Yeah.
still going like,
Well, because
I don't
listen,
know.
your body is designed to keep you alive. Okay.
You know, all
So
that fear stuff was kicking in so hard.
yeah, that's another thing you have to remember. A way that I can make peace with some of my fears and stuff. A trick that well, it's not a trick, but it's just something to remember that instead of trying to fight it and go, why am I feeling this way? Why do I gotta feel? Just remember that through years and years of well, I was gonna say evolution, but it's really come from my God, porra. But my God was made it so that I'm want to stay alive. My body want to stay alive.
Right.
Okay, so if it see that I'm putting it in a situation where I feel scared or uncomfortable, all it wants to do is tell you, listen, let's not do this. Let's not take this. Obviously, something is scary here. Let's stay the fuck away from this. So your body is just trying to keep you safe, almost like don't walk out into traffic or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't know that you need to like make money doing stand-up comedy or
It doesn't know you
fighting
need to push through it to pay your rent.
or giving the State of the Union address, whatever the fuck it may be, your tap dancing his side or whatever the fuck
Right.
it is. And it just knows, oh, danger, because you're feeling scared, uncomfortable. So let's be comfortable. You don't have to do this. So it's just trying to help you, and you just have to tell that voice like, I understand. Thank you for worrying. It's like your mom worried
Right.
about you. Thank you for worrying about me. I know you love me. We don't need you right now. I got this under control. You know what I mean? I've trained enough.
Or I don't, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, okay. Or I've trained enough. I belong here. You
Right.
understand? And even though you feel fucked up and you feel there's never, it's okay. We belong here. I know it's strange, but just go with me. Trust me on this one.
Exactly. No, I agree.
Instead of hating it and fighting against it because it's happening. You can't pretend it's not happening.
Right.
You know, it's happening.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. And it's amazing. Yeah. Primal fear versus rational fear. Go and be still. This is Den T Gen saying this.
Or then cheat.
Yeah. Oh, well, feeling anxiety. What this person says when they're feeling anxiety, daughter dash human is a great song for me. So I don't know that. See, I was thinking daughter from Pearl Jam, which but I don't know daughter / human. I don't know what that is. But yes, Franklin Thompson, it's that fight or flight. You know, we all it kicks in for all of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always really do applaud our fighters for willingly walking into a fight, right? And like doing
And on a smaller level, the people who feel it, the anxiety, even from not going to the supermarket or whatever the fucking thing
no,
is that
anxiety is
we
real,
was
right?
talking
Exactly.
with Jessica, because your mind is telling you, hey, wait a second, this isn't safe or whatever, and you just have to give yourself a break and say, there's the tendency to get mad at yourself
Mm-hmm.
and fight yourself about why you feel that way. But instead of doing that, just trying to have some compassion for your own fucking self and go, I know why you feel like this. I get it. You're trying to help me, but listen, you know what I'm saying? You have to talk. Sometimes you have to talk to yourself instead of fighting yourself.
Well,
You have
like I
to
said, literally today, and I know it seems like a silly thing, but like I said, I
showing
posted
you
a video and I actually showed it, and I said like I didn't want to do it. Like I didn't want to do it. And
Oh,
like
you
I
should
said,
have talked to me. I would have gave you a pep talk before.
I did it anyway. And I don't even feel like it wasn't like, because I have a couple of pictures on my phone where I'm like, I think this is the hottest picture I've ever taken in my life. And today I don't feel like I'm the hottest I've ever been. I feel like yeah. So it wasn't even like, oh my God, this is the best my butt has ever looked and I gotta share it. It's in fact why I kind of shared this one today, because I feel like I'm a little fluffier than usual. And I was like, you know what? But if I do it now, this is a bigger leap. Like this is a greater leap for me to do this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's stupid.
So you was leaping when you took
I was spinning around a jumping rope and spinning around and then, but like as stupid as that is, and as that like no big whoop, there's a much more bigger challenges in my life that I feel like I'll face any intellectual challenge, any kind of other sort of mental work challenge, no problems. but literally saying, KB, show a picture of your ass. I'm like that's harder than anything.
We have to work on that. Was your cheeks trembling when you was
Yes,
doing
I'm
that?
jumping rope, Renato. Of course,
Oh.
it's going up and down. I'll put the link in here. Here, I'll link the story. I'll put the link in the comments.
Did it make a clapping sound?
Yes, probably. Sometimes it does. Sometimes
just as I thought, just as I suspected.
It
this
does
is more serious than I thought.
Depending on the short. Here, KB. Here, I'm gonna type it. Jump rope. I spelled rope wrong, and then I'm gonna say booty shot, and then I'm gonna put the link here. And boom, there we go. So I did it, and yeah, because I needed to.
I'm gonna have to investigate because I was busy today. I didn't get to see it, but I'm gonna have to. This is you're making progress.
I am making progress. Okay, so hey, Renato, I want to get into something that we were talking about this with Jessica. And then we'll just keep it going. But like I said on the fight this past weekend, so Jessica said that at one point when Erin went for the takedown, that her bra top got moved and exposed, and that her whole breast was hanging out. So she said,
I thought
she got distracted during the takedown, and that's what she said led to sort of being finished. Which sucks because she said she was just taken out of the moment and distracted by it.
Okay. I have to be honest, like, I didn't saw this fight, so I don't know. I can't speak on it yet.
So
do we see the moment?
I don't know if we'll see it in this footage. Here's what I noticed about this moment. This fight. Jessica, we know, is so powerful. And this one, I do remember thinking, like, I'd like to see a little bit more head movement. And that's something that all of us were talking about at work. Like, hey, Jess's head seems a little static. And maybe it always is that way. But, like, I feel like Jess knows her chin can take the best from basically anybody else. So maybe she doesn't worry so much about her chin. But as soon as Erin and Jessica Penne mentioned this, as soon as Erin got that takedown, though, immediately she takes control, and she's very fluid when she gets.
Here's my question. Now, at first I thought Andrade was the one who had the malfunction.
She did. Jessica Andrade had her boob was exposed.
So then I thought, I got confused
because went for the takedown. She said Erin somehow, like, when she went for the shot, Jessica saying her own breast got exposed, and that distracted her, which made Erin more successful in getting the takedown and finishing the fight.
She must have some great titties to be distracted by her own titties. Like they came down like that, and she was like, "Oh God, are you?" And then it was like, "Wait,
I can see how that would be."
Of course, I can't see. I'm making jokes about it. I can see, but
even though Andrade had her OnlyFans for a while too, but like I could see how that would be a distraction.
I can see how that would be a distraction. I don't know that it's great to mention that as an excuse.
It seems like an excuse.
Well, it is an excuse.
Jay Crockett breast distract him too.
I mean, distract me too, don't you? The cheeks distract me.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Oh, somebody said that when I'm jumping rope, though. Wait. No, they said the clap was a sound of applause.
It's true. That's a self-applause, self-love.
Self-applause.
Yeah, you're giving.
I got to be honest with you. I'm embarrassed sometimes if I'm in the gym and depending on the shorts I'm wearing, if they are clapping, I'm embarrassed. Luckily, nobody was in there. Okay, so Randy Hibota, or Handy Hibota, as you would say, saying, did anyone see that happen, though, with Jessica? I watched the fight. I don't remember it happening. So we don't know what kind of camera angles. I don't know. I'm just saying this is what Jessica Andrade said. And like I said, she told that to my friend Evie, the Brazilian reporter, like right after the fight as well. So it's not like this was like a days later, let me come up with something. Like she said it right after to Evie as well.
I don't know what you make of that. You know what I mean? So now what are we supposed to do with that information now? You know? I'm more interested in the information.
I don't want to take anything away from Erin. Erin's great.
Yeah, I mean, like, I I don't know.
I don't know. Hey, listen, look at either way. Sorry, my list was dry. Either way, Erin Blanchfield now went from number 10. She took out number 3. But remember, Jessica Andrade is ranked in 2 different weight classes, in strawweight and flyweight. This was a flyweight fight. She said before the fight that she's actually more concerned with getting a rematch with Weili Zhang. She's more concerned about the strawweight rankings than she is about flyweight. Although if she had won, potentially maybe she could have fought Valentina. But it actually kind of works out okay. Like, it's better that Erin won in a way, because Erin is the one who's more focused on the flyweight title shot. You know what I mean? Whereas Jess is more focused on the strawweight.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And it was a short notice fight. Listen, Jessica beat up, she had a really competitive fight, like an excellent fight with Lauren Murphy in January. So it was a short notice fight for her. So, you know, look at Chidi thought Jessica would win. A lot of people thought Jessica would win because she is like the most powerful girl at 25. You know, she's so powerful. But there was a lot of reason that, you know, congratulations to Erin, I guess is just my point.
Yeah, congratulations. You know what I mean? I listen, you can't. Oh, shit.
Okay, where'd you go? Hi.
Okay, hold on.
And here's
now.
JH125 saying either way, it was Erin winning, and she even admitted she won fair scare regardless of Nipplegate 2.0. Exactly. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah. So somebody's saying I had some great seats. Did I see? So I done goofed, you know, for the main event. Because I shared a video for Hernandez versus Miller, because I went out and sat right there for that.
Yeah.
I should put the video up too, because I have a little bit of like 45 seconds of fight footage, and then the 2 of the guys coming out. I'll put that link up too. So for Jessica and for Erin, for folks who don't know, when I'm working a fight, once it gets to the main event time, I have to be in my seat, kind of in the studio part. So I don't often get to watch main events from the floor. I have to be in my seat, because at this point, like, I'm talking about the post show and I'm getting ready. I'm like, it's all this kind of last minute stuff. Like, I map out the show and I, you know, map that out with my producers, but I'm getting like last minute info, and I kind of have to see what happens and then write like a lead for the scenic thing that comes over. So to be just like kicking back, like having a cocktail, like watching the main event, that doesn't really get to happen for me. It's a job. It's still my job. So
Plus,
I'm on the job during the main event.
Exactly. And it just dawned on me. It's like, how are you supposed to squeeze those cheeks back into the chair and then out of the chair to get like from position to position? It's like those cheeks you gotta put trying to get him in there.
Well, what I usually do is ask Tate, who Vaselines the fighters. I ask him to come back and Vaseline my seat.
Oh,
so that I can then just like.
I'm gonna use the jaws of lifey to get you out of there.
Well, congratulations.
So on the video that you post, can you hear the cheeks is clapping on there?
I don't think you could hear them.
Because I don't think it's something you need to be embarrassed about. I made peace with that years ago with jumping jacks, because when I do that, you can hear it go like you can hear a smacking. It sounds like the fish market, the Pike's Place got on you. It's go like plop, plop.
Wait.
Karyn Bryant, you stop it now. Oh, you stop doing that.
So yeah, I don't know that you could hear the cheeks.
You're a bad person. You Zuli, you.
Okay, but here. I'll show you, since I didn't.
Yeah.
This was the shot I didn't share on Insta of my ass.
Listen, Karyn Bryant, you're moving in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. I think that people is gonna embrace that one.
Yeah, you like that booty?
Listen, I think you know the answer to that question. There's nothing wrong with none of that stuff.
Like I said, like Jess said too, I'm trying to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. But I
get you're doing the height stuff. Exposure therapy.
I should
You
be
just
proud
got
of
money
you.
for that one.
Thank you, Stubbs, for the donation.
Hey, listen, they're not just being nice. This is for them too. They understand what's going on here.
OnlyFans coming up. No ultravirus, not OnlyFans. I might do the foot thing though. I'm not gonna lie.
But let me tell you something. Hey,
foot thing.
fans out there, be honest. Especially the guys. Tell her what you think of that one. Tell her what you think of the fucking video, cause she don't even get it. She don't understand. I think she kind of get it a little bit while she's giggling, but she don't get it. She don't understand quite what's going on here.
All I hope is that thick bitches stay in vogue. You know what I mean?
Listen,
like we can't go back to the waifs of the 90s. Because like I've never been a waif. I've never been thin. Like I've always hated my ass. And literally I said that in my post. Like that's why I did it, because I've always hated my legs. Always hated my, like, I gotta come to terms with it. Like I can't die hating myself.
Look, women is the only ones that, well, no, I can't say that. But
you've told me before that I'm more critical of myself than maybe a guy would be, in that like we women in general are way more critical of ourselves than maybe we should be. And
not just like a guy wouldn't be critical. It's the opposite. He would be, what's the opposite of critical? He would be overjoyed. I mean, let's put it to you this way. People like that kind of stuff. FYI. You know, in Heach, that guy, Michael Chi William, whatever, he goes, this kind of shit, I don't gotta sell this shit because this kind of shit sells itself. Yeah, so.
Okay, but yeah. But so, you know, I'm coming up against, and like I was saying, that's why I was so interested to talk to Jess about her mental journey, because like, yeah, like we all have damage and stuff from the past, right? And so we all think of ourselves in certain ways. And so, like I said, I'm trying to break through that. I've told myself I am a certain thing because I've internalized and believed other things that people have said about me. So I've made that my quote unquote truth, and I'm trying to rewrite it.
Listen. All jokes aside, I applaud you for doing this, because I know that even if I see something different, it matters what you see, because just like people who have a phobia of something, you can't just go, look, just snap out of it or whatever. You know what I mean? People, if someone got a phobia, they got a phobia. So if you think your ass looks a certain way or your legs, I can't tell you that you don't. But the fact that you're willing to post that, aside from all the jokes and stuff, I do applaud you, because I know that 2 years ago you would not have did that. Okay, 2 days ago you would never did that. And it's not like you're gonna win a Nobel Prize for that one,
right?
But it's a big steps for you, and knowing that the world didn't implode, the world didn't explode, nothing bad happened, your whole life didn't fall apart in tatters or whatever. And to be fair, more people gonna think it's beautiful than is not gonna think that. So, you know, and if you have beautiful stuffs to share with the world, aside from, everybody already know you're challenging other spots, other stuffs, but nobody knew that. I guarantee you this, nobody knew, especially with how you hide it and downplay yourself. Nobody knew you was working with those kind of cake in there, and your lower back and the small of your back and the curves and stuff. People like that stuff. A lot of men like that one. And some women.
I hope, because I'm also still so fucking.
That's coming. Now that you're putting the smoke signals out there now, and stuff is gonna start changing.
Yeah. I can't, because honestly, because like one of my other things that, like, you know, we've talked about this before. One of my other quotes is like, you know, to get something you've never had, you got to do something you've never done. So I'm trying to live by that credo as well, and to try to push my own envelope, because on certain things I've probably played it safe, or maybe haven't been as forthcoming or candid or whatever, because of like self-protection or various other things too.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Let these guys worship you. Let them to worship your body. Let them to show you.
Let me tell you this, Green 49285. I am not married. I have not been married for a long time now. So I just feel like that's part of it.
Well,
too,
not that long. True, what,
Okay.
a year
Well,
and a
for
half,
those who
2
don't
years?
know, that's part of why a lot of things are changing because I'm not married anymore. So I moved out of the house and all that stuff. But anyway, I've been on my own since March of 21, right? Or 20. Was it 21?
No, I think 21.
I think it was 21. So it's been a couple of years that I live on my own here. So I only see my kid half the time, which is really not good. I spend a lot of time by myself. I don't have a date. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have anything like that going on, which bums me out.
But those chicks is with you the whole time, Cara.
A lot. But I've made some movements on that too. I'm going to try to move on that too. But anyway, so I was married for 20 years, just shy of 20 years. But I am not married anymore. I am single. I am ready to mingle. I am in the market, on the market, in search of. I need a man.
I can't imagine the longest one.
No. Let me rephrase that. If I need a, like, I could go get one right now. Like, give me 20 minutes and I could go get one. I'm just saying, like, I would like to actually meet somebody of substance. So
I could get a man too in West Hollywood. I don't want that one though.
Dude, but you know what? Walk outside your apartment right now, and I mean your house, and get like totally.
The bottom line is, it's not hard to get a man for her.
Right.
But listen, the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, my longest relationship was like 6 years. I can't fucking imagine 20 years. I would.
Brutal. But yes, Omega. Yeah, KB divorced since 2021. So yeah, it's like how people put the like the
like Coors banquet style beer since 1863.
Exactly.
20 years. I mean, I can't even have my head around that.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people do it.
Well, you do it by. I'll explain.
You persevere.
Offline. I'll explain to you. You do it by phoning it in a lot of the time.
Oh, porra. No, thank you, Karyn.
Exactly. No, definitely no, thank you. It's not, you don't, no, thank you, for real. Okay, Renato, I gotta ask you about your take on, I loved this fight. It made me sad because we both love the veterans, but I'm not mad at Alexander Hernandez. But this fight with Jim Miller, to me,
you know what's crazy?
Like, this is the one that I went out and sat out front row for. Like,
I fucking missed this one too.
Jim Miller. Oh, it was so good. You didn't see it?
What the fuck was I doing? What card is this? Why am I blanking on all this shit? Who was fought on this goddamn?
So the main event was Jessica and Erin, but it was on ESP. I mean, it was on the app. Maybe that's why you missed it. But so this was the first fight on the main card. It was effing awesome. Like, I don't know if the highlights will explain it, but like, they wailed on each other and threw down. It was such a good fight.
And they're both great hustlers, true.
No, but it was all standing.
Well, that's why, I think, because they're so good at hustling.
Yeah, maybe so. But it was all standing. But so Alexander won, and it was a really good fight. Here. You know what I'm going to do?
Wait,
I was just going to say, I was going to share this in the comments.
Have we had Jim Miller on this one?
But we should.
Oh yeah, we can get him. We could get Jim Miller.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I can't believe we never had him before for some reason.
Here, I'm going to share.
I'm thinking of Clay Guida because you know how they kind of like both those kind of veterans that's scrappy like that?
Yes, I do know what you're saying. And so I'm sharing this video here. I put it in the comments. Since I was up close there, I shot those two from the octagon. So I shot about 45 seconds of their fight or something. And then the guys, leaving the octagon and stuff like that. Yeah, we could totally get Jim Miller on. Alexander as well, because Mark Montoya, he's a Factory X guy. Mark Montoya, who, used to work with our light-skinned heart, Anthony. But yeah, no, Jim Miller is such a good dude. I'll hit him up. Yeah, it'd be fun to have him on. I would like that. So for those who don't know, he holds the record for the most fights in the UFC. That was his 41st. He wants to retire at UFC 300, which would be next July. So he's kind of in his brain got it mapped out of how he'll fight or whatever. And so we were talking at work the other day of who would be good for him to fight. And Alan or somebody mentioned Bobby Green, which we were that'd be great because Bobby said he wants like one more fight before he retires.
Wow.
He and Jim are veterans. Like I'm like I'd sign up for Bobby versus
I
Jim.
would see that, or I would see him fight like whoever's the last of the Mohican, just like him. Like,
Well, he already beat Cowboy.
wait, is Guida still active?
Yeah, so he could maybe Clay's still going because he already.
But wait,
fought.
they must have fought each other before.
I think they did. Oh, I think they did. I think
they
I was
had
at
to
that
have.
one. I think Clay won. I think it was at that one.
I think like that's the kind of person you want to see with him, like true junkyard dog.
Yep.
Killing
like
each other.
Or Tim Means or these guys. Yeah, like that's the whole thing because initially he was supposed to like Hernandez stepped up on shorter notice and stuff like that. And so it's like, but Jim, he still got it, right? Like it's not like he couldn't compete with this young kid.
Yeah. No, he's something else. I mean, he's still they try to throw him young kids, then he beats some of these guys. I mean, he's still a killer. Yeah. Also, he makes a great beer. He and his brother make a beer together.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah.
The Miller
he
brothers.
has just that great old timey fighter look. Like I feel like he should be like this with like the old school shorts and the.
Yeah, he and Clay Guida. He's like the last of a dying breed, porra.
Yeah. Well, here we go. So he's saying Dean D saying I can't have Bobby versus Alex, but Bobby versus Green. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller works for him. I can't believe Hernandez beat Beneil. Yeah, that was crazy when he came out and scrapped and blew Beneil away. But Hernandez is just inconsistent, and that is it. And I think he said something like he had to work out some stuff. Like I don't know if he's a head case kind of guy or whatever. He's a very confident person. And the thing about Alex when he first started, he seemed like a very confident guy. And this is something we've spoken about at work, like with other fighters. Is like Alexander Hernandez seemed like the kind of guy that was great when he was the hammer and wasn't so great when he was the nail. And now he seems like he's starting to understand. Sometimes you're the nail and then how to become the hammer again. Yeah,
he's maturing because when you see him fight, that you can see potential. You can see unlimited potential with that guy. You know what I mean? Like at his best, there's glimmers of like championship material, glimmers of that. And then, how old is this guy?
Not that old. Not that old.
It's like your Uncle Henach age.
Sure. He's like he's got a lot of
He gotta be my age, something like that. God, you like a baby. He's a baby. God,
no, I think he would be.
When people see all the women, it's like, oh, and that's just you a baby. They're like, you don't know anything. You're just a baby. God, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm a little baby. That's why I like to be spoiled.
They said, Hanato, give me a baby, maybe.
Well, they want that, and you could forget. They know that that's not gonna happen.
Well, okay, so I gotta ask people because. It was very, very strange to me. And I know a lot of people were talking about this one. And as we were watching it, we were like, okay, what the actual F is going on? William Knight didn't fight. So Marcin Prachnio ended up landing, I think it was 67. I should have my notes here still from my fight night stuff. 67 leg kicks, I believe, which was
look at this,
like a record, and it was like the third most ever in a 3-round UFC fight. But it was like a new record, I think, for light heavyweight, and the third most ever leg kicks landed in a 3-round UFC fight. So William Knight has said after this, he said, "I just froze up. I don't have an excuse. I don't know what to say. I just froze."
At least he was honest.
It sucks because, like we were saying with Jessica before, sometimes you might show up to work and just not want to be there.
That's the fucking thing, too. It's like other sports, you can have a bad night, you can miss shots, you can drop the football, whatever the fuck thing it is, not pick up the 7-10 split or whatever. But in fighting, a bad night is just and sets you the fuck back, way back, so. It's tough.
So I don't know what will happen with him, and that kind of performance is going to be hard to sell to to your boss or to a potential future person. I don't know William. I can't really comment on him as a guy. Like I don't really know him. I don't know. Tim Klingbeil said he didn't freeze; he was paid off. I don't know about that. That's
I
kind of
doubt that, but I mean, if you paid off, you're gonna be trying to look like you.
Lil Seal saying he already got cut, and he may have. And
That's
Sean
half.
Singletary saying he
That's
may got.
half.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I feel bad for the guy, and I hope he can. If that's true, I hope he can find somewhere else to fight. Because, like I said, I don't know him, but I've also never heard like, oh, this guy's a dick. Like, I don't want good things for him or whatever. But yeah, on the biggest stage like that, you just absolutely lay an egg. You should probably expect to get cut.
Yeah, and I'm sure he understands that it's a fucking business or whatever. But people have also came back. Maybe he goes down to the lower to the B League and goes and puts together some wins. Maybe now the pressure's off because his worst nightmare came true. Because sometimes it can go two ways. You're either gonna be paralyzed by it, or you're gonna go, okay, so the worst thing that could ever happen happened.
Yes.
And I'm still alive, and my family's still alive, and
right.
The world didn't end. Maybe okay, I can move on from that. Who knows?
Well, but honestly, that's interesting that you say that, Renato, because literally, that's what Joe Benavidez said after. He's a guy who fought for the title a couple times, and it just didn't go his way, right? And the time that he got knocked out, I remember talking to him after it, and that's exactly what he said. He was like, you think the world ended, you think it's the worst thing in your life. And he's like, but the next day, the sun rose. My friends still love me. My wife still loved me.
Yeah.
My family still loved me. I still, and he was able to, put it in perspective, even though he was obviously gutted and it was the worst thing.
Sure.
It put some perspective on it for him.
But sometimes when these bad stuffs happen to you, whatever it may be, you get fired, God knows the host of things you don't want to happen to you, and then you survive them, and you go, I was worried about that shit, or losing your money, whatever the fuck it is, and then you still survive, and you're like, you spend a lot of time spinning your wheels worrying about shit, and then when it happened, it's like, okay, so it happened. Now what?
Now what? And I do feel like a lot of people who get cut from the UFC now, there's more options, and like you said, there's ways to come back, obviously, but even if you never come back, there's very viable options out there where you'll make a great living, and it's not
like McDonald's. You can go to McDonald's like Calvin and get a job, and people are gonna be excited from that. They're gonna go, Calvin got a job.
Calvin got a job. Okay, so I gotta ask you now. So, like I said, this past weekend it was a rare misstep for Chidi. His record is now 17-5. He did think Jessica Andrade was going to win, but I feel like we should spin it ahead and look at his take for this weekend. I'll be back at the Apex on Thursday. I'm working on Friday and Saturday for Nijitia Krylov versus Ryan Spann. This is a light heavyweight main event. We know Krylov is he's got hands, but he's mostly more of a sub guy, whereas Spann is all KO and, basically murked what's his face recently, where you were like, you all
wait, which one? Oh, yeah, he looks so good.
See a dead body.
Oh, he looks so good. That's high. Oh, shit.
Spann. Okay, so
I forgot because he's fighting so quick now again.
Yeah, Chidi's
choice. He looked
Chidi's
so fucking.
For Spann versus.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Chidi's Choice. Tonight, the Fistivities bearded dragon mascot will be choosing the main event between Nijitia Krylov and Ryan Spann. What we do is we put Chidi down in front of some arugula. We get a couple of piles here. We randomize the names. More often than not, he does go to the right. But you never know, folks. You never know. We put him down in front of the names. Then Chidi comes and makes his choice.
He kind of played with us a little bit on this one. He thought about it.
Okay.
God, he's playing with our emotion. My heart.
That. Ryan Spann.
Okay, just like I would have imagined.
Is that what you thought?
I mean, I didn't know if he was gonna do that, but I think that's who's gonna win for him.
Is that that's what you think, huh?
I mean, after seeing that, I can't even remember who he beat.
It was John. Was it? No, it wasn't Johnny Walker. It was
It was someone good, and he just he
marked him.
disposed of that gentleman.
Yeah.
But who was it? I can't even remember now.
It was no, because Johnny just beat.
I just remember going,
Well,
oh,
it was
shit.
Dominic Reyes, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think it was Dominic Reyes. And it was kind of brutal.
And Hayes is no chump, you know what I mean? So just like to steamroll a guy like that was pretty crazy.
Well, right. And so it was a knockout. And so the interesting thing about Ryan is like, he's like, oh, he used to not really train. And then he was saying something like recently, he's like, yeah, I decided, yeah, it was Dominic Reyes. So he's on a 2-win streak. He beat Ion Cutelaba. He actually submitted Cutelaba, which is crazy.
Which is another crazy stuff.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blahovic versus Rakic. But then he beat Dominic Reyes at UFC 281 in November. It was a catchweight fight because Ryan actually had missed weight for that one at 206 pounds or whatever. But yeah, like Ryan is one of those guys who now is like, oh, I started to train a little more and take it a little seriously. He's like one of those people with a lot of natural gifts. And then it's like once you start training them, you're like, holy crap.
There's been a lot of guys like that over the years, and some of them, you know, a lot of them fall by the wayside. But you know, when a person like that gets dedicated, they can be very scary, you know?
Yes, yes. Well, I'm glad Javik or Havoc, a Holbuck saying Cheaty's Choice is pure entertainment. Thank you. I think so. And yes, D&D, people do need to hit the like button. And Cheaty will never get old. Thank you for saying that. Like I said, 17-5, I think is still way better than a lot of prognosticators out there.
Listen, it's better than a lot of fight career, you know?
That's what
shit. I know. 17-5. A lot of people would check that you know.
I agree.
That would be so like a top guy in whatever division, you know.
I think so too. So that is this weekend, and I'll be back on the job. I'm working with my boy Sugar Rashad and
Hashaj
and my guy Kiesa. So I got a couple.
That's two good ones. I haven't seen Hashaj in quite some time.
No.
It's been a minute since I've seen her shot. Give to them my best.
I will. I look at. I say this all the time, but I'm just very fortunate. Like, I love the people I work with. I don't have any turds. There's nobody where I'm like, ugh.
There's no turd in the punch
this
bowl.
week. Like, yeah, everybody's awesome. So I had Alan and Dean this past weekend. By the way, Dean Thomas, perhaps the biggest fool on the planet.
He's a funny. He's a funny individual. And he always have a shit-eating grin. Fucking Dean.
So we might end up doing a segment of Houdini, like a segment with him with his hat and this and that, and like him like doing predictions or something. It's a work in progress, but yes, people should stay tuned because there might be a Houdini segment coming up soon.
You're gonna get sued by the group Houdini because they spelled it that way, poor, huh?
Would say friends.
How many of us have them? And then one love. You're lucky just to have just one love.
Yeah, but Friends is the best.
Yeah, but both of them. And then the freaks come out at night.
Oh, the freaks come out at night.
The freaks come out.
The freaks come out at night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
They also had 5 minutes of funk. 5 minutes of funk. Anyway.
Dude, Houdini.
I like me some fucking Houdini. I still fuck with Houdini.
Hey, yeah, as a little bit of a side note here, you do post, for folks who don't know, your IG is always bumping with like a lot of classics and a lot of great old hip hop.
Hey, listen, I love that. I want to keep that ones alive because a lot of time I put a song, if I don't identify, like I put a song in the background of something, I love when the young guys go, hey, what is that one? What's this track? And I'm like, yes, you know, I want, just like with films too, you know, just because you wasn't alive when something came out or whatever, it don't mean you can't explore that one and enjoy that, you know. There's so much good stuff that was made in the old days,
for sure.
And I love when a young person can get into that music and he's discover that shit, you know.
Agree.
And get into the movies too, all that stuff, like the old stuffs when they to see them first discovering like these groups and stuff. I love that feeling. To turn them onto that one.
Well, it really is, and you do. It's like a little history lesson over there with your IG. So if folks aren't already following you over at IG, just look for Renato_Laranja. And here, it's 9 o'clock. I turned off my cuckoo clock for the show tonight
Oh,
because
thank
last week
God, porra.
I know it was. But I was just looking. I was like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. Where's my cuckoo clock? But it wakes me up. So when I don't have my kid, that's the other thing is I got to turn it off because it wakes me up early. When I don't have her, I get to sleep a little bit later. And so this thing woke me up today. I was like, oh
Yeah, fuck that Coco. It wasn't so cute anymore. That
I
fucking
love
Coco
it. I
Puff.
love it. I
Not
love
early in the
it.
morning. You don't love that one.
I love it. I love it. I'm so excited about my cuckoo clock. I
Mm.
love it. Okay. So a couple of other things I wanted to ask you about, and I maybe need to hit the ladies' room, but I wanted to get to some MMA news, unless there was another
You want to
fight
go to
from.
the? Okay, I'll trade you one. You go to the ladies' home. I'll fucking entertain them for a second, and then you give me the same courtesy, Karyn.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? Because my cheek is floating
BRB.
too.
Hey, when the Drake, I listen to a lot of Drake, and he's like, so it's a BRB. My house is not a B&B. Da da da. I hate to. I don't hate to admit it. Like I like Drake, and so initially in the house here, like kiddo and I would be like, let's put on the Drake station, and we like listen to some Drake stuff like as a goof, and then I'm like, but I actually really like his songs.
That's what happens. Sometimes you listen to
Like, I actually really
music. I listen to. I don't know about Drake is not my guy, but there's shit that I'll listen to ironically and then start really liking it, and I go, what just happened to me?
That's how I am with Drake. Is that I listen to it
I know
because
how
I'm
that
like,
happens.
I mean, especially in Rich Flex, which I freaking love that song, Rich Flex. And it's
I
with
don't
21
even know that
Savage.
one.
And there's a line in it. He's like, I used to want a GMC when we was doing B&E. And every time I hear that, my kid, I'm like, we look at each other like, we're like, girl, please. You were
Yeah,
never
like Drake was
breaking
doing
it
fucking
anyway. Like,
beanies. He was.
you were a teen star on Degrassi High. Like,
Yeah, you was.
don't come at me like you was doing
Yeah.
B&E.
Fuck
Like,
out of
you're
here.
not. You're not.
No.
And so,
Mm-mm.
and so it's a joke, but it's funny. But then I'm like, okay, but like on the DL, like I actually really love this song. Like it's
I
actually
understand.
really fun. And so, and again, kind of getting back to what I was saying earlier about my kid listening to WAP or whatever, like music should be joy, right? Like music should
Of
be
course.
fun. It's good for like she's not going out and acting on this. It's not changing her life. It's fun. It brings us together. It brings generations together. Like it's all good. It's all good.
WAP is bringing a lot of things together.
Okay. On that note,
Okay.
I'll be
What's
right
going
back.
on?
BRB. I wasn't doing B&E, but I'll BRB.
Yeah. What do you guys think, huh? What about the cakes is in effect mode now? Um, what do we got here? Let me have it, porra. I know she gotta do her OnlyFans. She's too shy. That's you gotta give her some time. She just had the courage to do a jump hope. Right? Now I don't worship Penn. He's the coach. Well, what about what's the other one? Black Phillip or whatever. Black Phil. Um, the coach is it Beelzebub. No, Baphomet. Baphomet. uh, him. I used to walk out through the don't sweat the technique or fucking the juice. The ledge juice. Sip the juice. I got enough to go around. And I thought it takes place uptown. Wait, I know. Me and the guy from Bonnie M is wanting the same for. Oh, thank you, Chim. I was more instead of soccer. I was more a fan of Oscar Schmidt, basketball star, Brazilian black basketball. Here's the Michael Jordan. He's Oscar Schmidt. Yeah, I like Hakim. Uh, hey, listen, it's not just celebs that do weird shit. Guess who else does weird shit? Human beings, caralho. You got freaks who work at fucking Walmart.
Okay.
Oh,
You're
somebody just asked a question. That's a good question. What do you think
what's
about
that?
Dan Hooker, Volkanovski, and the accusing Islam, even though he has been cleared by USADA and UFC?
Well, yeah, we talked about that on last week's show, and the thing is like I don't think
Did we?
Dan is a yeah, I don't
I
think
don't
Dan's
even
the
remember.
type to just like randomly say stuff. So maybe it did happen, but then weren't people saying like, oh well,
But he's
the
allowed
USADA
to do it?
rules,
I don't
yeah,
know.
actually do allow things, and it wasn't this. It was like this amount or da 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 da. Like they were saying some or like international rules. Like when you cheat on somebody and it's international waters, it doesn't count.
Oh, the international water.
Well, I'm
God,
the
are
only
you?
one who
Do I
thought
need to
that. I'm
tone
the
it
only. I'm
down?
the only one who thought that. I'm kidding.
Be
I'm totally
honest.
kidding.
Karen Branch, do I need to tone it down on the good looks or whatever? Like, is it getting out of hand? I just switched back and I was like, who's that cat? Who is that guy?
Oh,
Who the
you
fuck
just switched
is that?
back to your self camera.
Yeah, and then I went, God, how did he get in here? I was like, oh.
I mean, you look good. Did you get a fresh haircut too?
You know who did it? You know who I got to do it?
I
Not
don't.
Jose Bear,
I
not
know.
Vidal
I
Sassoon.
know Houdini, but I don't know who did it.
Oh, yeah, touche. Your uncle Hanach did it himself for her at home.
To shave.
Look at
Touche.
that.
Touche. It looks
Look at that
good.
one.
So, do you have a Floby?
No, I don't have a Flowbee, unfortunately, because I wish I had one because the fucking hair get all over the floor. But I tell you what, you look. I have one Mexican gentleman, Mexican American, Chicano American, who is a hair a barber, whatever. Have a barber
And
shop.
is he still old school and only charges like 15
No,
bucks?
no, he's young. He's a young buck, okay? And he does the fade and he does a self fade, okay? And he show you, he walk you through it. So I use the same one. I use that one.
What do
And
you mean he's a young guy that does a self fade? Is this like a YouTube guy? It's like a
yeah,
oh, it's a YouTube video and he
I
shows you
just
how to do your own
look, if
fade.
I don't know how to do something, like for instance, I made sushi. All I did is I fucking step by step watch the guy who do the sushi heist or
Oh,
whatever.
dude, I agree. YouTube is an
Yeah.
encyclopedia. I'm not. I'm
If you
not.
just
I'm not saying
follow,
I don't
yeah.
get that. I'm just saying I didn't know if this was a person you knew for real or it
I
was
don't
just.
even know this fucking guy. I just looked at the thing. You watch a couple, and then I see this one. Okay, I'm gonna follow that one, and it works. It's fucking. It's a little painstaking, but it works.
I would imagine what you just have to keep changing the depth thing on the shaver, like
Yeah,
from
it's a
quarter inch to
fucking.
this to
It
that
is
to
a.
that.
It's not. It takes longer than you wish it would take, but you know what happened is like I remember it was like a situation where the chick who used to cut my hair, she like wasn't available some day, and I really needed it for some fucking reason.
For some other
Maybe
chick.
well, yeah, it could have been that, or it could have been for some one of my personal appearance or whatever, something like that. Magazine, something like that.
Photo
Or I
shoot.
was accepting awards or something like that.
Sure.
But and I was like, fuck. And then so I
Cool.
was like, fuck this. I do it myself, God are you. Yeah, like Major League, like fuck you, Jobu. I do it myself.
Yeah.
And so I did it out of necessity. I was like, that shit look better than the fucking shit. That
So now
no.
you never went back to her.
Hey, listen, the whole loss, Scott, are you and my
So
game.
okay, sure, okay, but like I don't know how much I know I pay a lot for my hair care. I don't know how much men's hair care costs anyway. Like
Well,
is
first
it
of
worth
all,
is it worth like you just said it's
I'll tell
painstaking.
you,
You
it
don't love
was
doing it. Like is it worth doing it
it.
yourself versus
Well, I'll put
going
it
to
to you
get
this
it
way.
done?
It was like $60 plus a fucking chip or whatever. That's not
Uh-huh.
that big a deal, okay?
Right.
But here's the problem. It felt like every fucking Chinese, even though she did a good job, it's like we he inventing the wheel. I'm like having to explain her through the fucking thing again, like what I want, and I'm like,
You can't just say give me my haircut.
yeah, but some Chinese come out a little different, or like something I'm saying is not translating. Like, wait, do that. No, if I do that, this is gonna. And then so I just do it myself, and I'm like, yeah, this is how I fucking wanted it to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, and it come
Good
out
for
how I
you.
want it every fucking chimey.
Good for you. Doing it yourself. Go for it. It
I
looks
have
good.
knowledge. I have
I miss
knowledge
the
of
porn
South.
stash, but it looks good.
The point stash is easy to come back.
Yeah. If you need to hit the loo, I can
I will. You know why? Because then I can also look at my hair couch again up close and
it looks
personal.
good. No,
And
you
then I
look
might
good.
end up staying in there and then and drooling over that one. Okay, hold on.
Oh, look at him. Wow. I'm gonna have to use this. I'm gonna isolate this part and just do a voiceover, and we can all just like make up stuff. What we could say when that is actually his like inner monologue or whatever. When we were doing this. Hey, listen. Oh my God. So Jay Crockett saying YouTube saves him trips to the auto shop. Dude, agreed. Like, I'm not kidding. I 100% agree that YouTube is the encyclopedia of our times. People used to go around door to door selling encyclopedias. They don't need to do that now. You literally can find anything and everything you need on YouTube. I just saw something earlier today. I was like, I need to bookmark that because I need to go back and look at that on YouTube. Yeah, it is. It's funny because I still, if I'm honest, and I'm always honest with you guys. But I do defer to like looking for an article on something first. If I don't know how to do something, I still go to reading something. But my kid goes to video immediately, right? Goes immediately to YouTube. And YouTube for me is still kind of sometimes second thought, like, oh yeah, because I guess I just like to read. But anyway, yeah, you find everything you need on YouTube. So like I'm telling you something that you don't know. Okay. Oh, stop. Thank you for the donation, $10. Saying, Karyn, I need to make an Instagram subscription and post those skipping videos. I mean, I guess I could. I just don't know how confident I feel about that. But I guess I should work on that, and I could do that. You're right. I could do that. I'm trying to do more of that on like my YouTube and stuff like that, and like do more things there. So to be honest, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button because I do intend to spend more time here. I'm working this weekend, but then after that, I got a couple of weeks off. So I will probably get bored and need to do stuff. And I have such an amazing library. Like if you guys don't know on my YouTube channel, there's like a couple thousand videos of YouTube stuff. of MMA stuff. So the videos on my channel that get the most views still are, like Brock and Alistair Overeem weighing in. And by the way, Alistair was at the Apex the other day. I didn't get to say hi to him, but he was there. But yeah, like I have a ton of stuff there. So you can go and spend a lot of time after you watch our Fistivities show. You hit the subscribe button. We do this show every Tuesday. This is episode 71. But if you're an MMA fan, I got a million things. I was just telling them, Renato, that I have a vast and diverse library of things into which our viewers can delve, covering MMA for the last like 12 years or so. Like I've been doing this for a while now, so I got a lot of great stuff.
Well, I thought I heard you saying that my videos, the ones with me in there, is the one that got the most views.
Yours too, okay, but like I shared a video, and I sort of like cut it into a little short, because I was there. We were there when Ronda got her, when Dana gave her the belt, right? Because we were in Seattle. It was when Nate was fighting Benson, and there was a press conference, and Dana gave Ronda, because she was the Strikeforce champ, but she was coming over to the UFC, and he gave her the belt, and so I reshared, and I can even share the link for it here again, a little clip of that when Dana gave Ronda her belt. And like I remember that, like I vividly remember it, you know what I mean? And it was cool. Like I was psyched. I was like, F yeah, like we got a badass bitch up in here now. Like I'm psyched. You know what I mean? Ronda's always been cool with me. I know some people don't like her or whatever. I'm cool with her. I like her. I'm psyched for her. Like I'm a fan. Like I'm like, cool. Go, you do your thing. I'm good with it.
Honda was always facilitate. She did a number, even when she was really on top of the world or whatever. She did some stuffs that
you know, she didn't. She needless to say, she didn't have to do. You know,
Right.
and like she did some fucking photo shoots with me for a fucking jiu-jitsu magazine where
Oh, right.
she's feeding me grapes and shit like that. Like she was a good sport in a way that a lot of fucking people would not have been. She was very cool. And I know a lot of people, you know, talk shit about her or she helped people the wrong way, but she always I got nothing bad to say about that girl.
Yeah, no, I can't. I don't come here if you're looking for people to crap on her. Because yeah. So I remember interviewing her, and I even have it out here. I could find that link too of like interviewing her over at when she used to train with Anthony Hardonk, who had a gym in Santa Monica, and she used to train over there. So I have an interview. I'll put the link in here in a second. Anthony, who was training Jordan Wright this weekend, who didn't win, unfortunately. But Anthony is a former UFC heavyweight. And yeah, so like I said, I have stuff with Ronda before UFC and, you know, with Strike Force and all that stuff. And yeah, she was always cool.
I like Anthony Hardonk. I've known him for years too.
Oh, he's great.
I call him Hard Donkey Kong. He like now because he have a Labanza now, so I call him Hard Donkey Kong.
Yeah. He's great. Hey, I have a question for you.
Okay, go ahead. Wait, we playing truth or dare?
It's a fight question, and then we could get into the truth of it. I just feel chatty tonight, so I should warn people that we might go a little bit longer because I feel chatty. Are you chatty? Do you have time? Do you have a honey coming over?
You ever seen that thing where the white kid who's trying to act thuggy or whatever, he goes, "Today I got time." You ever seen that?
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know.
Because I didn't want to say nothing before, because I was trying to be cool, and I didn't have time or whatever. So, but nigga, today I got time. You know?
Well, that's how I feel. Like,
wait a second.
Today I got time. So this might be a 3-hour show because today I got time.
He's like, you disrespected me. You disrespected my flag. You disrespected my hood. But it's one of, for some reason, and everybody, I used to post it and people
wait,
go,
you said it's like a white trash kid?
It's like a
trying
white,
to be hard?
like
I might have seen it then.
It's like
is it with a Confederate flag type thing?
No. He's like on some gang shit or whatever.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it's one of, for some reason, it's one of the funniest fucking thing. I can't even do it any justice. It's too fucking.
Well, Best Korean Jesus is saying, "LOL, such a good meme." I don't know that one. I gotta find it then. You gotta send it to me.
One, because I can't remember the choice words and stuff, but he's so fucking.
Hey, but yeah, Green 49285 saying people forget how good Ronda was too. Not everyone likes their opponents all the time, and yeah, but this person Jay Crockett saying they remember when Ronda tossed Tanach with the Tade Surikomi. Goshi, she got you. She got you with the judo toss.
Give me a gogumi, gasami, gomumi, and I don't give a fuck.
I don't know the terms for judo tosses.
And end up, but then I got the last laugh because I was ending up in between her legs, Karaya. So.
Well,
I care.
There you go, Renato.
Because
so this is Dala saying, I don't know how I discovered Hinach. I went down the rabbit hole and became a fan. LOL. So glad I did. I mean, what would you say are your greatest hits, Renato? What are your favorite videos that people could look at if they're just getting to know you? What do you like? What are your signature pieces? What would you say? I would table you and Josh Barnett with Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest,
and Kenny Florian with Heat. To me, those are two canon pieces.
So you're touching on something that I think if I was to show someone who had no idea of nothing, I would just say the episodes of the Renato Laranja show that exist on YouTube probably is the best way to see. You can get a little bit of everything there because you get some interviews and you see me to, eviscerate my gas and give them a taste of their own medicine, and sometimes a taste of my own medicine. And then you get to see the movie parodies.
Is it cherry?
Huh?
Is your medicine cherry?
Oh, it's fucking licorice.
Oh.
No, it's
that is the worst flavor on earth.
No, it's
Literally, black licorice is the worst
Jesus.
flavor on earth.
Jesus.
What does that meme say? Convince me I'm wrong or whatever. Tell me I'm wrong. Like drinking my coffee.
It's a very
Change my mind. Black licorice is the worst flavor on earth. Change my mind.
I'll tell you what's the worst flavor on earth. And this is because I've dated a Scandinavian woman, okay? They like a flavor out there that all of them like, okay? Which is it almost makes me want to throw up. It's a black licorice, okay? But they don't stop there. It's like a black licorice that have the flavor of seawater or something like that, where it is like overly sour and it's mixed in with all the other gummies, okay? Like, because they're good at gummies. You know those kind of countries?
Right.
Gummies.
Of course. No, the gummies are amazing.
Oh, and then you taste one. Ooh, lingonberries.
Ooh, God, oh, it's so good. Yeah, popcorn. Oh, my God.
And then this one. And then the girls go, oh, here's my favorite when I was a kid. And I go, ooh, this must be nice. Oh, what is this, black currant or whatever? And I go like, hey. I mean, the disturbed, unsettling how disgusting it is. And all of them love that one. Kind of like it don't taste the same, but you know how people from like Australia and New Zealand, they like Vegemite?
Yes.
And you know how that shit just simply don't taste good.
And it just hits different for them, apparently.
And I have an adventurous palate, okay? I'm not one of these people who's like, ew, something different. That shit tastes like shit. You know what that shit tastes like? It tastes like how when my dog have an ear infection, it tastes how that smell. Pooey. The fuck you want to eat that for? You could eat anything you want instead of that, and then you're gonna have that. Ugh. You know when that dogs get in the ear, that dark hashish in there? Ooh. That shit is
Dude. Oh, I'm wrecked. That's a very, 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 very funny take. Oh my God, that's funny.
I don't understand how they like that shit.
Oh my God.
And they fuck with Marmite.
Oh my God. Will Stubbs said they smoked up. They're glad, Chatty. This is great entertainment. Well, good. I'm glad you appreciate it. Okay, so cool. So I wanted to ask you about a couple of things here. My heart. Beneil Dariush versus Charles Oliveira.
Is happening for sure?
Yes.
Oh,
UFC 288, May 6th. My heart.
That's
I can't. If you said, "Hey KB, who are your favorite lightweights?"
Yeah, but
guess what? Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush.
But you know Dariush personally now.
Yeah.
But you don't know Charles Oliveira.
I mean, a little bit over the years. We've had a little bit of an interaction. I've interviewed him a few times. I'm just such a huge fan. Like I've always loved his style. I've loved his look. Even before I knew him. And then, like I said, I would interview him and like his fight in Brasilia versus Kevin Lee. That was the last fight before the pandemic. I worked that one that was in Brazil, and that was the beginning of the pandemic for me. So that one like really sticks in my brain. And I remember interviewing him, and he has blonde hair and all this stuff. And like I said, I've just always been the biggest fan. And so like those are my two favorite guys. And then it's like, oh God, they're fighting each other. Like it breaks my heart.
I understand, and you just on those, you just gotta go. May the force be with you, and
may the best man win. Exactly, may the force be with you. Because Beneil, being a King's MMA guy, I've known him for a long time, and just he's such the sweetest guy. And I always remember thinking like, I wish I had a sister to introduce him to. I mean, he's got a great wife and family now, but you know what I mean. Like he was one of those guys. Like you don't meet a lot of people where you're like, I would like this, like I trust this guy. I want him in the, you know what I mean? Like that's who he is. He's just like one of the best people I've ever met on the planet. You know what I mean?
What am I, chopped pecans over here?
I mean, you don't like a family. You're the first to admit. I'm telling you, you want a family? Like you don't want a family?
No, I have enough family, can
Do you?
I do.
Do you recognize?
I recognize that once. I got extended family for him.
Dean D saying he rides or dies with Beneil, but
Yeah.
Green saying Benny's getting slept. He needs a title fight. So what do you mean? So this is risky, him fighting Charles?
No.
Yeah, I agree, Dean. I do think Beneil should just be getting a title shot. I do agree with that.
I think this is a little bit of.
But Green saying, yeah, that it hurts us all. I
think
agree. Thank you for that.
One of those situations where they don't think Beneil is a big name, so they're gonna try to put as many roadblocks
He
his way.
is though. He
But you know
is
what?
though.
Let me tell you.
People.
No, but whatever they research, listen, people is greedy, okay? And when you have a business that's a juggernaut like that, they're trying to get every fucking dollar that they can, you know? And so they go, okay, we can squeeze this many extra dollars out of so-and-so versus Joe Blow or whatever, and they're gonna, they're gonna make that happen. And then so Beneil's gonna fight in an uphill battle, but that's life, God, argue.
I know it sucks. Look, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's
Maybe
just it.
Beat the odds and make it through. That's a great story too. They try to fucking throw everybody at me. I beat them anyway.
I beat him anyway, and he's an amazing guy. I love him. So yeah, it's just that I'm just such a fan of both of them that hurts me that they're going to fight each other.
Somebody got to lose their place, But if I was to say who I would want to win between them, I would say probably Beneil, only because the fact that he didn't get a bite at the apple yet, and so
and Charles is a former champ, so he's already been there.
To have that experience or whatever, they've been waiting.
That makes sense.
So
and honestly, like we were saying before, how you said like sometimes you don't know you have a dog in the fight until you're watching it. I guarantee you, most likely my heart is going to be for Benny. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be hard not to be. I know that. It's just that I'm such a fan of Charles as well. You know what I mean? But obviously, like I want Benny to. I want him to get his chance.
Yeah. The only other thing that swayed me sometimes is like maybe one of the guys does something that's very not sportsmanlike or something, like does like a cheap shot or a low, like pretends they got hurt when they didn't or something, like pretend they got poked in the eye, some shitty stuff, like, or hit right after the fucking glove chop or something like that, and then I go, I don't like that. You know what I mean? And then it started making me, fuck you now. I mean, even though I like the guy, but I'm like, but fuck that,
Yeah, I don't like. I don't want to name names, but there've been a couple of fighters where I'm like, I'm not a fan anymore. Like where they did something, or said something, or I don't know, man. Just
they can do
something. Where I went, I don't think so. I'm not down anymore. And it's disappointing because it doesn't happen often. It's only been a couple people. And I'm like, it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whatever. But anyway, that's going to be a great fight. I'm very much looking forward to that. Did you see today? So we talked about a little bit with Angie. With Jess, Angie and Mackenzie, and that's another one where I'm like, God damn it! You're like really, and we called it when we had Mackenzie on. For people who don't know, she was on episode 69. Obviously, Mackenzie, but we had such a great time with her, and she's such a sweet girl. And she, we talked about it. We were like, you're probably going to fight her, and he said it was probably Angie, and we basically outed her on that.
Yeah, I don't like that one. I mean, that's truly one that I don't like because I know both of them personally. So I can't be happy. I can't be happy, I mean, I
hate it.
Yeah.
I want to see it and I hate it.
No matter what happens, it's devastating to the other one.
Right.
For different reasons. Like for Mackenzie, it really is like, someone who have like superstar potential, and it's like, wow, we might cut this thing short, you know what I mean? And then no, not short, but I'm saying not that it would be over for her. I'm saying that would be I think that would be devastating for her, a loss, a back-to-back loss, for her at least, how she think about herself and all that kind of stuff. Now Angie, I think for a different reason, simply because she's been around for so long, and she's always right there, and I think this would be a shitty setback for her, so I hate this for both of the girls.
Well, I think for Angie, she's on a roll, she's on a streak, and she wants to prove that she can make a run for it. Like a lot of people give her grief about her record, and
that's what I mean.
She's only ever fought the best of the best. And yeah, to lose would definitely be a setback when she's trying to prove she's still got it, and she still can make a run. But for Mackenzie, I don't know. She's still young-ish in an MMA career, where it depends. I guess to me on that one, I would feel like it depends how she lost. If she lost, if it's a war, if she shows her hands, if they're in a firefight, if it's all back and forth, and if it's close, sometimes when you lose, you know what I mean? But like, seriously, like it depends on how she loses, I guess would be.
How they were saying like she gets compared to early Honda Housey because
yes, of course.
Listen something. Imagine if Honda had lost kind of early on, lost 2 back-to-back, it would completely fuck up the mystique. You understand?
You're right.
So it's 2 different things here.
I know what you're saying though. You're not wrong, but it's not 100% right necessarily.
Yeah. And
because I feel like she's always got other things going for her too, that people are always going to be rooting for her.
But also, and Angie, with the situation with her, it's like, yeah, we've seen that she's always going to be in the fight and she's capable of beating anybody. But then she's always having to, like, she gets a setback and then comes back strong. And how many times she don't want to have to go, back again.
No, I know 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Well, Green saying Angie's awesome, but she just can't win that big one. I'm scared that her time has passed, been on her side since that wild fight with Jessica Andrade. Yeah, that fight with Jessica Andrade was amazing. She dropped Jessica. Like, she went back and forth with her. That was a scrap. Like, she just squared up and went to town. They were rock'em sock'em robots, Yeah. So Dalla saying Angie's resurging and deserves it. She's a Chandler of the women's division. You're right. Like, she's scrappy like that. She just goes and gets down. Jay Crockett pulling for Angie. For sure. It's tough. But Randy Habota rooting for Mackenzie. You don't have to be you don't have to apologize. Like
For me, I just feel like a piece of shit if I know someone and I root against them. I can't do it. I have to just either. Right. Sometimes I just can't watch the fight.
But we know both of them. That's what I'm saying. We know both of them.
Just refrain from watching it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't want to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I just got an email earlier about some assignments. So I got to see, I might be working it, which I hope I am, because it's like, it's always fun to be in the building for stuff like that. But at the same time, yeah, like my heart will, will just be really torn and it's tough. It's tough to watch people like that you're like, okay. So, Renato, do you,
real quick,
go ahead.
An example of that. When Alan Jouban fought Ben Saunders.
Oh yeah, I was at that one.
I refused to watch it because I know them. I know them for so long and trained with both of them. I know I know they past their histories, what their dreams and hopes and all this shit. And like the kid, the wife. I was like, I don't want to see this. I just don't want to know that they like each other. I hated that fight and then even seeing the highlights or whatever, it made me sick to my stomach. I couldn't be excited for Alan because of who he was doing it to. And I bet he didn't feel good about it either, I bet. Yeah.
He didn't. And I worked that fight. I was there. And my mom and my brother came to that one too. And I remember Alan was, it was an emotional thing because also he had his son there, KG was there, and Nicole and stuff. And that was, he doesn't usually do that. And so it was just an emotional night for Alan, but yeah, it was tough for him to be fighting Ben because they are friends, and it was one of those things where it was like, he knew they could make a good fight because it'd be an exciting matchup. And at the same time, it's like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to beat up, I don't want to do, and so I remember watching that one and being like hard to celebrate. Like you said, hard to celebrate. when you know both guys, and you know,
It's
yeah,
like beating up your family member. I don't know. Something about that.
yeah,
It's cannibalistic. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
I,
You're right.
I don't
You're
like.
right. Yeah, Dean saying what Alan did to Ben was wrong. He beat him bad. He did. He did. Hey, okay. So yeah, so I'm asking, I don't know how much, do you spend any time over on TikTok?
Zero. I don't even have one.
Okay. Well, there's I don't spend a lot of time over there. I've started to look at it a little bit more, like just a little bit more lately, but I feel like I might want to do more there, but at the same time, there's all this talk that they might get banned. Congress is trying to ban them because like the Chinese version of TikTok isn't what we have. You know, the one we have here is just garbage and it's addictive, you know, and it's just like there to like destroy children. And the one in China is like all educational or whatever. But they had this teen filter, and I'm curious if people have been using it. I haven't done it myself, but they have this teen filter. And now it's so cliche, but like you open up Twitter, TikTok, and it's like, it's just ladies crying because like they're like, I don't want to see this teen filter. And then they're like, they see their younger selves, and like I guess every woman is sad at what sad sacks we've become, and like we're all sad at our lost youth, and we're all sad that like our young beauty is gone, and we're all sad that we're shriveled and old, because every woman on these things now, they're all like, I didn't think it was going to be so emotional. And then they're all like crying because they're seeing their younger selves. And I'm just curious if anybody's done it. I haven't done it myself yet. I don't think I'm going to cry because I think my kid looks just like me. So I feel like I'm already like face to face with what I used to look like or whatever. But I'm curious if people have been doing it.
I mean, I'm not on there, but I feel like I've got a teen filter on all the time. And I'm not crying about it. You know?
Oh, you
look at that. I'm like like 90210 or whatever, like hey, I look like one of those ad for acne
Clearasil or
Sidex, like
Clearasil or what do you call it?
You know what I'm saying? Like there's rock and roll music and pop music in the background, and I'm like, carajo.
Hey mom, I'll be in to do my homework in just a minute.
Yeah, some Sunny D and the purple stuff.
Some Sunny D. Sunny D and Hot Pockets,
yeah,
right after school.
Yeah, people think that, and then I have to show my ID. I go, no, I'm not a teenager.
Oh my god, I'm not. Oh my god, thank you for that though.
But I'm.
Do you Okay, wait. Stop saying I look way younger than I am. Well, thank you. Yes, I'm 76, and I think I look pretty good.
The older the berry, the sour, the what is it? The sweet.
The older it's the darker the berry. Randy is saying that teen TikTok thing is going to have women using filters even more. That's the whole thing. It messes with you, and the girls everybody's like, oh my god, like yeah, they're so emotional, and like I said, they see themselves, and a lot of people do agree that that's what they looked like when they were younger. And so a lot of people are kind of like freaking out and like, oh my God. And they start crying, and then they're like, yeah, oh my God. Oh, look at me. Oh my God. And then they're all crying, looking at themselves. I'm like,
dummies, be grateful you're still fucking alive and that you made it to an age where you could even say that. Fucking people need to knock off the bullshit. Be grateful.
I'm just saying, I haven't seen any videos of men doing it and crying. It's bullshit.
I haven't seen any of them to begin with, but it's like, fuck it. We get older, eat better, get some more sleep, drink some fucking water. I don't know. You know what I mean? And if you old, fuck it. You old. Oh, well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not dying anyway. Just enjoy it.
Oh, God. Tim saying he heard a girl in the nightclub saying she's been using Botox at 16. That is frightening. I've never had Botox in my life. I've never had any kind of shot or anything done to my face at all. Like, yikes. That's crazy. That is crazy.
I've
never done anything. I'm all natural. Yeah. I do color my hair, and I need to go get it done, but that's it.
Tell though, usually colored hair, you can tell it looks so dark or it looks so unnatural. I can't tell on you.
Yeah, thanks. But I want to get some highlights and whatever. But like, that's the only thing on me that's fake. Everything else.
The
is real.
one thing I have to admit, I got a penis seduction back in like 1989 or whatever. But I don't look at that as like, that was just true. That was for me. That's for me. My lower back and also my LCL.
Right. It's probably easier to shop for pants now.
Just say again.
It's probably easier to shop for pants.
Yeah, shop for pants. Yeah, now I can do the skinny jean and all that without, scaring people. Is check their wife and children out of the.
Oh God. Oh God. Okay. So Renato, have you
match from that one under my. I'm kidding.
So I know I was feeling chatty and stuff like that, but I'm curious, like, what's on your mind? Have you seen any good movies, any pop culture things, and what's your dating life like?
Wouldn't
what's
you
on
like,
your mind?
Wouldn't you like to know? You're trying to schedule yourself, and you're trying to squeeze yourself in there, Karyn.
No.
Yeah, what did I saw lately? I've been watching some shit too. What the fuck did I watch? I just watched an obscure movie from the 80s that I love, which it made me feel great because I used to love this as a kid. You ever seen this movie Into the Night with Jeff Goldblum and
Yes.
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yes.
And some people don't like that one. I love that movie.
I don't remember it, but I know I've seen it.
It's a good one. It's it's kind of a thriller, like a neo-noir, I guess you could say, and it's quirky and funny.
I feel like I remember him in a leather jacket and a cobalt blue shirt and glasses.
Well, minus the leather jacket, that would be too cool for this character. He had more of like a corduroy jacket,
Okay.
She had a leather jacket to be sure.
Okay.
But I don't want to ruin anything about the movie, but it's a good little kind of like 80s noir kind of, but with funny shit mixed in there. But violence.
So I watched that movie Tar the other night with
that's supposed to be good, but I never saw that one.
Cate Blanchett. It was good. The beginning of it's a little bit and I say this as a woman with 2 degrees from an Ivy League college. It's a little bit showy in its look how smart
I got you.
I am. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look how I can elocute while I disseminate the information upon which therefore, you know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing where you're like,
it's drawing attention to that shit just to be doing it.
Some of it seemed to be a little too self-aware or something. But then again, that's also the point of the movie because that's who Tar was. So do you know what I mean? Like it fits and it works. And when you think of it, as you were saying, the gestalt, the whole being greater than the sum of all its parts, and you're like, well, you get that. And so that little part, while it might have been somewhat irksome in a way, you're like, oh, but that played into the overall feeling of the whole thing. And that made you feel like you got a sense of who she was.
Well, if there was a purpose to it, that's one thing. But if they're just doing it to be doing it, then
well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying now. I do kind of recognize that maybe it does actually sort of work.
You know what? I forgot my goddamn stuff.
Your headphones? Oh, at any rate, you sound fine. But I liked it. But I did think at times
whenever somebody else talk, it just cuts me off. I seen it in the audio.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, no, you sounded fine though. But no, I was saying I liked it. No, but I did think at times I was like, okay, it could move on a little faster, and it seemed a little bit self-aware and whatever.
I won't be seeing that one anyway. So.
But anyway, this person saying they started Poker Face and they liked it. I've heard of that. That's with
I don't know
what's her face, the redhead girl, the one who not Natasha Lyonne, the one who went a little wacko for a little while.
Oh, I like her.
Back. I know.
I like her. Wait. Speaking of which, that's funny that you say that. You know what I saw that I hadn't seen it since it came out, and it was fucking hilarious and better than I even remembered. With her, The Slums of Beverly Hills.
Oh, it's fantastic.
What a fucking funny, what a gem of a little movie that is.
Such a good movie.
What a fucking funny And I don't remember the actor, the Jewish actor who plays her brother, her
I'll
older
look it up
brother.
here. I'll look it
Fucking
up.
guy is so fucking funny. And
It's
of
so
course,
I know who it is. I can
yeah.
picture him.
And Alan
Um,
Arkin is great. I mean, the
oh my
movie
god,
is
it's such a good movie.
that's
It's
a
such a good
great little
movie.
movie.
Um,
Little coming of age movie with a weird family, a fucked up family.
yeah, so it is
And Marissa Tomei.
yes. So the cast is Natasha Lyonne, Alan Arkin, Berna Weiss, Marissa Tomei, Charlotte Stewart, Eric Eli Maranthal. Let's see.
Who's the
It's David Krumholtz is her brother.
that
Krumholtz.
fucking kid is talented. That guy
I
is
love
funny.
him. Oh my god, he's great.
He
He's
he
been in a
needs
million
to,
things. I love him.
but he needs to get more work. Like he's always in some quirky fucking indie movie or whatever. This
He
guy
was
needs
always in
to.
indie movies and stuff
He
like
he
that.
needs to. He's too talented. We got to see him in more shit.
Yeah,
That
he's
guy
great.
is a killer.
So yeah, like I said, I was watching Tar, and then I've been watching Shrinkage on Apple, the one
I
with
thought you said it wasn't that good.
I know, but then I stuck with it, and I guess it got a little better, or I just am like, yeah, whatever. I've resigned myself to just watch it because, like I said, I like the people in it. I think it maybe got a little better. I mean, look, it's one of those things you kind of put on while you're doing something else. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's
it's
not a good
like,
sign.
I don't know. I guess it's not. I give it like a 7.5.
But there's too many great things out there to settle for anything less than
Is
great.
there
You
though?
know?
Like what? But it's only like a half hour. Like I said, I have
Yeah.
it on while I'm doing it.
Like
What-
great old
what-
movies.
what-
Like you
I know,
could,
but I
you,
watch old movies. I do.
but you could watch a classic movie every day for the rest of your life and not
No,
see
you're right.
half
You're
of the great movies. It's like
No, you're
just
right.
dip into the great movies. You know.
You're right. You're right. Well, like I said, I have right now. I have the ability to screen some things that are up for SAG Awards, so I can watch Avatar, the new Avatar, which I haven't watched yet.
Me neither.
And while I know it would have been more fun to see it in a theater, I probably will watch it because I
Yeah.
can just watch it. Like, so why wouldn't I?
I don't blame you. Yeah. Fuck it.
But I do know, it'd be obviously better in a theater. I don't know how people like it though. If anybody's seen Avatar, I feel like it's not like people are talking about it like how we talked about the first one.
Maybe that's because it looked like a fucking PS5 gamey.
You're right. Wait, this is one. JH125 saying just rewatch Wedding Crashers. Now that is just
That
funny.
one is
Agreed.
a classic. That one is a classic.
Funny.
There's too much funny shit in there. They on fire. I mean, and the cool thing is it's not just them that's funny. Every fucking body's good in there.
The girls are funny in that one too.
The girls are funny. The fucking Christopher Walken is funny. Fucking asshole Bradley Cooper is funny. I mean, it's all great. The concept is funny.
The
The
concept
hiding
is
is funny. The gay the kind of gay son, the artist that's like want to play chummy sticks with
Yes.
your boy. Ugh.
Dude, it's so funny. And you're right. That was when Vince and Owen could do no wrong. Like, you know how people just have their time, they have their era
Yeah.
where like they just are crushing it for a while.
That
Like
was a nice
McConaughey or
combination, the two
whatever,
of them.
all these people do like just for a while you were like they just couldn't miss. You know what I mean? And that's when
Yeah.
those guys were just crushing it. And like when Ben Stiller, same thing, bam, 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 like hit after hit after hit after hit. Like
Look, that's a classic. Wedding Crashers was an instant classic. When I first saw that, I was like,
good.
oh my
It
God.
really is
Yeah.
good. It's funny though, because I do like I love him in Owen Wilson in the the Meet the Parents movies too, though, because he plays
Oh,
the ex-boyfriend so well.
Such
and
a
he's
fucking
so
dick.
smarmy, and he's so freaking smarmy.
yeah.
But he pretends to be so genuine, and he's just
Yeah. But he's like backhanded compliments and stuff. Yeah, like
everything is
Oh.
a dig and like a backhanded like, oh, he's just the worst. He's so
he's a heel piece of shit in Cable Guy too. You remember he's like the date.
oh, I love Cable.
You remember that? He's like,
Yes, I'm interested.
yeah, hold on. But he's like, when she goes, I'm kind of in a holding pattern. He's like, holding pattern? Sounds like you need to come down and refuel or whatever.
I'm interested. I'll be right back.
What's the
Oh,
story with
God.
our chicken, man?
It's just, oh my God. I love Cable Guy.
Cable Guy.
Do you know I heard the Jefferson Airplane song the other day, and all of a sudden I was like, it's Cable Guy.
Of course, yeah. That day, the Hell's the Oakland chapter of the Hell's Angels had their way. Tonight is my turn. I told you my mom was at that thing that he's talking about, Ultramar.
Yes.
That thing
did.
where what the Hell's Angels killed that dude and all that stuff. My mom was there. She was 15 and she was
American woman.
doing acid, porra. Oh,
Mama,
caralho.
let me be American woman.
That shit. That movie It's Ben Stiller.
That's-
Listen, whenever he directs movies, his other fucking one, Tropic Thunder. I mean, as a director of comedies, he's a and a hider. He's a killer.
I love Tropic Thunder. And for those who know, I wasn't saying that American Woman was the Jefferson Airplane song.
We know that was just because it's in the karaoke scene.
Yeah, exactly. But listen, like Dean saying, the Vince Vaughn monologue comes to mind. Each movie, he always had something. And that was what I'm saying. Like, I love that we just played to his strength, right? Like, we didn't go to a Vince Vaughn movie pretending we wanted to see anything else than a fast talking, slick guy who gives a couple of monologues, who absolutely like reads somebody the riot
He just
act
does
at
his
least
thing.
a
Yeah.
couple times. Yeah, that's what we're paying for.
He's made shitty ass movies funny just because he's in it. I mean, like he's in some turkeys that the parts you see him in, you're like, okay, it's worth it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Like what, The Breakup or whatever is.
Yeah, or what's that other one? It was okay. The one with him. It was another. It was the last time they went to the well of him and
because The Breakup is him and Aniston, I think.
no, but the one where they went to the well again with him and Owen Wilson was the last one where they work at like a
the temps, or they were the guys working up at the,
now,
in the .com place, like
that's an
San Francisco.
Yeah, that's an example of like the movie was okay, but
The Interns or something like
but
that.
he's fucking funny in that shit. You know what I mean?
Good.
Yeah.
He's funny always.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny always.
yeah, he's too much.
Yeah,
He's one of a kind.
JH.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder is definitely one of my favorites as well.
Tropic Thunder is a masterpiece. It's like
it really is.
I think with Chime, that movie's gonna become like the genius of that movie is gonna be like kind of how people talk about like Doctor Strangelove or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like it's really it's a masterpiece.
Well, so when you think about how a lot of, like, when I think about a movie and I think about what parts of certain movies have become part of our vernacular, when people are like, well, you never go full R word. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't say that, but people do. But I'm just saying, like, different parts of that movie, and like I literally heard some. I think of Tom Cruise dancing at the end of the movie, playing the agent and stuff,
or just him being an asshole the whole time. You know, what about who am I speaking to? Head Dragon? Oh no, Flaming Dragon. Whatever, Flaming Dragon. Why don't you literally fuck your own face?
In his hands, the way that like he had the meaty hand, like
Les Grossman.
Yes.
Listen, that movie. The thing about that movie that's genius too is you can watch it. Somebody who's not smart can watch that movie and just laugh their fucking ass off. And also, there's so many levels you can get that movie on. Like there's so many inside Hollywood type things that only if you've been in the business at all you would understand. But you don't need those to have it be funny.
But if you do.
And then there's movie reference stuff from classic movies and stuff that's being referenced, that's being made fun of. There's shit. The stuff's about like the Nick Nolte character, who is like this guy who was supposed to be this Vietnam veteran, writes his book, you know, and he's so full of himself, and like Ernest Hemingway. There's so much stuff in that movie that is the deep layers and layers and layers and stuff. It's so fucking incredible.
They're like it's the Apocalypse Now like references and all that stuff. And it's just so. Oh god!
And it's ballsy too. It's ballsy. It's
ballsy. And like Ken, you know, we love me some. I love me some. I can't even call him Kenny Powers, but when he's exploding everything, Danny McBride.
Danny. What the fuck am I fucking up his name for? Yeah, Danny McBride.
Yeah, he's the explosive expert. Yeah.
He's become Kenny Powers though. Like I can call the name Kenny Powers before I can remember his real name. He's another one that's one of the funniest fucking people on earth. He can do no harm.
No, for sure. Okay, hey, so maybe we should start wrapping it up here. But Renato, what I said it at the beginning of the show when I was introducing you, but like Do you still teach? Do you do seminars? Like where? I
Yeah.
feel like you
I
don't
mean, I
roll
have.
like you used to roll.
I haven't been. I have took a little bit of hiatus of that stuff, so I'm focusing on some other stuff. But I'm still. I can still be persuaded to do that shit. But yeah, I think early on because of the whole lockdown and all that kind of stuff, I got kind of away from that, and then got into doing some other stuffs. And I go and I explore different stuffs, you know what I mean? And I don't always talk about all that ones. But I've also got a couple of stuffs that's in the jiu-jitsu world, and that's also maybe something to do with video game world that I can't speak about. But
Oh,
yeah, there's thing, I'm always got some my stuffs up my sleeve, but sometimes I just can't talk about until it's the high chimey, you know.
I got you. I got you. That's cool. Well,
Um,
that's
but
interesting.
but your uncle Hinach, he stays in the mix, boy. Let's put it to you that way.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that that you do. Um, I'm working this weekend. Like I had mentioned before, I will have uh, uh, Sugar Rashad Evans with me and Michael
Nice
Chiesa.
charge.
And yeah, so it's Ryan Spann versus Nijitia Krylov in the main event. So for those of you who haven't seen the whole episode tonight, earlier in the show, we had Chidi's Choice where we had his pick for Spann versus Krylov. Now, Chidi's currently 17-5. That's a
Not
pretty
too
good
shabby.
record. So you got to look and see what he picked.
I think what you got to do is you just got to hold with him every week, and then you're gonna win in the average. You know what I mean? If you just try to get hitch off of one big pick, yeah, he could be hung. But if you do the average of it, the fucking guy, you could be doing very nice by now.
You're right. The average is way better than
Yeah,
a lot of
and
people.
and he don't always pick the favorite either. I mean, sometimes he's just a couple of those you would have won some serious money.
For sure, there's been a couple times where I'm like, ooh, seriously, bro? Like the one that really got me was when he picked against Derek Lewis, and I was like, and he picked Spivak, and I was like, oh, really, bro? Like, and then he was right. I was like, oh, really, bro?
He was hiding a big way too.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that sucks. But you're right. But dang, like, oh man, I was bummed.
Chidi
Yeah.
is powerful.
He is powerful. He is.
He's the
powerful.
heel Houdini. He's the heel Houdini.
Hey, okay, so hidden match. Where can people find you on the socials?
Oh, you
On
can
the
find me.
edges socials?
Well, you can't find me on Tik not yet. Okay.
Right.
Because I don't want to put too much filter on there. It's gonna get people too turned on from that. But I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that shit at Renato_Laranja. You can find me on any stuff. But I'm really only very active on the Instagram. I keep it simple. I stay at your Instagram, and then I let them to populate the other stuff from there.
Right. On Twitter, honestly, if you just retweeted my tweets, that'd be fine.
I can do that.
You should do because I
I can be persuaded.
I
to do
tag
that.
people all the time, so you may as well just at the minimum just go over there and retweet what I tweet.
Fair enough. Touche.
Okay, so you can find me at Karyn Bryant, Karyn Bryant as in Kobe. No relation, but may he rest in peace. That's my handle over on YouTube, where you may be watching this. If you are, please hit that subscribe button. It's also my handle over on Twitter, where you also may be watching this, and please hit that follow. And then you can also find us over find me at KB Heat on Instagram, and yeah. This is Fistivities number 71. You can download these, Renato. You can download these on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and
Stitcher?
Yep. Pretty great.
Incredible stuff.
Okay, well, folks, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much to Jessica Penne. Again, if you guys joined us late, check out the show. We talked a lot about her upcoming fight, but also just mental health and just like her horses and, Italy, all kinds of stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao.
All right, everybody. Where do I go? Bye.